The Turkish government is continuing attempts to convince the international audience that the situation in the Idlib demilitarized zone is under control and that militant groups are fulfilling the terms of the agreement. Initially, on October the 8th, Turkish state media claimed that all militant groups had withdrawn their heavy weapons and fulfilled obligations within the framework of the deal. Nonetheless, by October the 15th, after multiple violations of the ceasefire regime, it had appeared that Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and other radical militant groups had kept their weapons and members in the area. In order to propel the peaceful effort forwards, Ankara and Moscow expanded the time frame for the full implementation of the agreement further. On October 24th, Turkey's Defense Minister Hulusi Akar came with a new statement, claiming that a large number of heavy weapons and radical militants were cleared from the 15 to 20 kilometer demilitarized zone. Turkey will never allow a terror corridor to be established in its south, he said, adding that he will discuss deconfliction agreement issues with his Russian counterpart on October 27th. The only problem is that on the same day, militants carried out a large rocket and mortar attack on the districts of Al-Shaba, Al-Zara, Halab al-Jadida and Adhamiyah in Aleppo city. At least 10 civilians were injured in the attack carried out from the northwestern countryside of the city, which is a part of the demilitarized zone. The Syrian Arab Army, SAA, responded to the attack by targeting militant positions in Kafra Hamra, Darat Abtrabt, Al-Zalad, Al-Zara and Al-Leramun with artillery strikes. Meanwhile, in the Euphrates Valley, ISIS units attacked positions of the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, around the villages of Al-Susa and Hajin. According to the ISIS-linked news agency Amaq, 14 SDF members were killed, 4 others injured, and 3 captured in the attacks. The same report added that ISIS captured a bulldozer. According to pro-SDF sources, the SDF repelled all attacks, killing 51 ISIS members. While there are no doubts as to the SDF advantage in firepower and manpower over ISIS, it still remains unclear how the group, backed up by US-led coalition air power, has not been able to eliminate the Hajin pocket so far, if reports about the hundreds of killed ISIS members claimed by it are true.
With the US threatening to pull out of a Cold War-era arms control treaty with Russia, Vladimir Putin has warned the deployment of US intermediate-range missiles in Europe would force Russia to target the nations hosting them.
If the US pulls out of this treaty, the main question will be, what will they be doing with these new missiles? If they are deployed in Europe, we will naturally have to respond. Those European countries which will agree to this, if it comes to that, will have to understand that they are putting their own territory under a threat of a possible retaliatory strike.
Putin made the remarks when meeting Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte in Moscow. He was responding to US President Trump's weekend announcement to opt out of the 1987 Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Putin rejected Trump's claim that Russia breached the arms control agreement. He said it's the US that violated the treaty, and he warned of a new arms race if the US pulls out. Nevertheless, Putin also said he hopes to discuss the issue with Trump in Paris on the sidelines of the November 11th events, marking 100 years since Armistice Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a report that came out in the New York Times. There's now reports out that's saying the caravan is about 14,000 heading towards the U.S. I know it's a lot. When American and Mexican officials prepared to meet in Guatemala in July, one issue in particular was weighing on the United States. A caravan of hundreds of Central American migrants had tracked through Mexico a few months before, seeking passage into the United States. American officials wanted to know, would Mexico agree to force such migrants to apply for asylum there instead of letting them enter the United States? Mexicans said no. Think about that now. Mexico said no, but yet those Mexicans just keep pouring into America, right? Today, with many thousands more in transit, by far the largest single movement of migrants north in decades, the pressure to solve the issue has reached new heights. With a proposal broached last July known as Safe Third Country Agreement seemingly off the table, it has been rejected by Mexico's president-elect. Mexico again finds its migration system in a state of crisis and in the crosshairs of American officials. Okay. Now, they're saying 6,000, but I'm looking at reports today that says 14,000. I don't know how accurate that is, but you can best believe it's many thousands out there coming to the U.S. border, and they're still saying that they're fleeing poverty, violence, and most of them are from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. In anticipation of their arrival at the United States border, Trump has pressured Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador and Mexico to halt their passage. But while Mexico has long bent to the migration mandates of the United States, the sheer number of those fleeing this time around has presented new complications. Ever since 2014, when at the urging of the Obama administration, the Mexican authorities began to crack down on illegal migration, migrants have been ensnared in a vast dragnet along Mexico's southern border. Thousands have been detained and deported, while thousands more have applied for asylum inside of Mexico. Such claims have soared sevenfold since the crackdown began. But the rush of migrants in the last week has overwhelmed Mexico's southern border plan. Most are not applying for asylum, leaving Mexico with a tough choice. Do they apprehend thousands of migrants, creating a humanitarian crisis, not to mention a public relations one, or do they simply accompany the exodus to ensure an orderly passage? It seems for a moment that the government has chosen the latter. Yeah, they're going to let all those people go. Mexico already struggling to assimilate the surge of migrants seeking protection from the dangers back home, some 14,000 in 2017, though Mexico itself hardly meets the definition of a safe country. Last year, it was the deadliest in 2 decades. The incoming president, okay, let me just go down because that, okay. The situation also poses a challenge for Trump, who has threatened to cut off abroad and deploy the military. So he's saying he's going to cut off aid to all of these countries that these migrants are from. If the military rounds up thousands of migrants, among them women and children, it will be a public relations disaster on par with separating children from their parents at the border. But if the president opts not to do this, it might encourage still more migrants to travel in large groups. Already rumors of a new migrant caravan from Honduras are spreading. So you got this humongous thousands that are coming, and they're saying there may be another caravan of thousands behind them. Oh man, woo, this is going to be messy. If you allow these large movements of people to come through What does that mean for future flows? Said Maureen Meyer of the Washington Office on Latin America, a human rights group. Okay. Does this become the new way to travel? Yep, it will be. Because if they see the power in numbers, yeah, they'll consistently do it over and over. Make no mistake about that. So they're just showing you the route of how they're traveling, coming out of Honduras, and then crossing over into Guatemala and El Salvador right here, joining them. And they're just coming up, going north into Mexico. Okay. Wow. You know, see, the last time they did all that separation of family, it was nowhere near this amount of people. And wow. So we shall see. But I have some video footage that I want to show you on this situation. So this is definitely some new news. You know, again, a second caravan behind this one. Yeah, I didn't hear that until now. So, oh boy. And we know, you know, these folks, they can come from the crappiest countries and still will walk in here and hate on Black people. We have seen this way too many times. They got all them children and babies in here. All right, y'all. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some additional video footage.
Como un buen futuro para mi hija, o tal vez cuando ella esté grande, ponerla a estudiar y sacarla adelante. Sí.
¿Cuántos años tiene su hija?
Solo tiene 5 meses.
5 meses.
5 meses.
¿Ha sufrido mucho ya?
Sí, ha sufrido bastante.
¿Ustedes estaban en el puente o se cruzaron por balsa?
Por balsa.
La meta es llegar hasta Estados Unidos.
¿En qué quiere trabajar ella?
No sé, en lo que sea. En
¿Ya
lo que
no
sea.
vives con lo que ganas en Honduras?
Ya no.
Dura. Mira que viene.
No, we just need mutargin. Bombini. Bombini. That's cool. Huh? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Взрыв сразу нескольких 120-миллиметровых снарядов поднимает в воздух раскаленные клубы дыма, перемешанные с грунтом и гравием. Грохот слышен практически во всех ближайших кварталах Дамаска. Для сирийских саперов это единственный способ освободить огромную территорию от большого количества взрывоопасных предметов. Передвигаться здесь, в районе Дарая, можно только по узким тропам, которые проложили саперы. Вокруг огромное количество неразорвавшихся боеприпасов, заложенные фугасы и даже вот так взрывчатка в ящиках в чистом виде. Для того, чтобы полностью зачистить от взрывоопасных предметов этот район, понадобится достаточно много времени. Каждое помещение сирийские саперы внимательно осматривают метр за метром, по нескольку раз. Мины и снаряды находят почти в каждом доме.
В каждом здании здесь много разных типов боеприпасов. Все приносим сюда, на пустырь, где у нас глубокие ямы. В них мы и подрываем найденные мины, снаряды и другие взрывоопасные предметы.
Саперы говорят, что каждый раз, выходя на разминирование, не знают, что найдут. Артиллерийские снаряды, минометные боеприпасы, гранаты и мины у боевиков были едва ли не со всего мира. Огромное количество сделано кустарным способом. Кажется, что смертельный металл здесь в каждом метре земли. Глядя на эти развалины, нетрудно представить, какие бои шли за этот район. Террористы отчаянно сопротивлялись и использовали самые крупные калибры и технику. Например, вот эта бронемашина принадлежала как раз одному из террористических подразделений. Для террористов этот район имел важнейшее стратегическое значение. Это был их последний козырь в попытке взять Дамаск. Как только въезжаешь в район Дарая, становится понятно, что боевики здесь держали оборону до последнего. И неспроста. Все дело в том, что отсюда можно свободно обстреливать всю центральную часть Дамаска. Сейчас это бесконечные бетонные завалы. Вслед за саперами идет строительная техника. Тяжелые бетонные блоки доставляют в пункт переработки на окраину квартала. Пока территория до конца не разминирована, все эти работы выполняют военные строители в целях безопасности. А чтобы лишний раз не пугать жителей Дамаска, боеприпасы саперы уничтожают небольшими партиями.
الله أكبر داريا، الله أكبر داريا، القصف بالبراميل المتفجرة على المدينة. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
داريا 26.
الله أكبر.
داريا استمرار القصف على المدينة. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر داريا 23/2/2016. الله أكبر. الله أكبر داريا القصف بالبراميل المتفجر على المدينة. الله
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us here on Press TV's Top 5. And I'll begin with the British Prime Minister having called on Saudi Arabia to cooperate with investigations into the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Speaking to the Saudi Crown Prince over the phone, Theresa May said the kingdom's current explanation lacks credibility. May expressed concern over Khashoggi's murder. The French president also spoke to Mohammed bin Salman over the phone as well. Emmanuel Macron said that his government's ready to support international sanctions against anyone responsible for Khashoggi's death. The French government has already called for talks on halting arms sales to Riyadh. Earlier, the Turkish president said he will not allow those responsible for Khashoggi's murder to escape justice. Have a listen.
We are determined not to allow a cover-up of this murder and to make sure all those responsible, from those who ordered it to those who carried it out, will not be allowed to avoid justice. This is not only a responsibility to Jamal Khashoggi, who was murdered viciously in our country's borders, but also to the international community, law and justice.
Recep Tayyip Erdogan added, evidence about Khashoggi's murder has upset some people. Now this comes as pressure continues to mount on the Saudis after they acknowledged that the journalist was in fact murdered inside the kingdom's consulate in Turkey's Istanbul. The Saudi Crown Prince has described the murder as heinous and unjustified. Mohammed bin Salman expressed hope that justice will prevail in this case. The Saudi Crown Prince has also pledged that Khashoggi's murder will not destroy mutual ties between Riyadh and Ankara. Joining us now to San Francisco, California, Scott Bennett, political commentator and military expert. Hello, Scott. Let's start by Mohammed bin Salman's. Actually, thanks for joining us. I should, do the cordial part about that. But Scott, thanks for joining us. Okay, first off, Mohammed bin Salman seems really distraught over this murder. Your thoughts, please.
Well, this is a classical psychological operation against the Saudi Arabians, whether it's being done by the Israeli Mossad or Shin Bet in coordination with Turkey and the United States and some others is another matter. But the facts are this is happening. The facts are that Mohammed bin Salman is being labeled the pariah of the international community by some of the greatest pariahs of the international community, specifically the war criminals in the United Kingdom and France, and what they've been doing to Yemen and Syria. But Saudi Arabia is in a fight for its life, and there's a very good chance that Mohammed bin Salman's already been assassinated, that there's a double. There are people in the intelligence community commenting about that. If not, the best thing that could be happening would be for Saudi Arabia and Turkey to enter into conflict with one another, to fight each other, to argue for the Sunni control of the Sunni Muslim world, because it certainly shouldn't be given to Saudi Arabia the Wahhabist savagery that they've unleashed on Libya and Syria, along with their aggressive actions against Iran. Is something that the international community should reject and condemn. So I think what we're witnessing is a setup for Saudi Arabia to be taken down, a setup for the replacement of the Saudi Arabian rulership, and frankly that could be the best thing that happens to the world society. The question is, would Erdogan be better or worse? Or would it be best to keep them fighting each other and having Erdogan and Saudi Arabia disintegrate each other's strengths and make the world safer thereby?
So Scott, if this is a setup targeting the Saudis, is it going after the Saudi royal family, or is it going after MBS personally?
I think both. I think you have to go after both because Saudi Arabia has existed like a tyrannical dictatorship since its inception, since it was given power by the British and the Americans. So, number one, it has to be a personal attack against Mohammed bin Salman and delegitimizing him. And then it has to be an attack on the broader dictatorship of Saudi Arabia as a ruling tyrannical criminal family. So in that regards, Erdogan does possess more democratic justifications than the Saudi Arabians, and of course the Saudi Arabians have been the primary financiers of terrorism. And I've had a conversation with Senator Dick Black and others, and it's fascinating to see so many Americans saying that Saudi Arabia is not liked or trusted by anyone in the world. Saudi Arabia is the #1 financier of terrorism, not Iran. So the big awakening has to be within the American community to see that Saudi Arabia is the real enemy of the American public. Saudi Arabia has been financing Wahhabism, which is the most intolerant, grotesque perversion of Islam since since its conception. And I think that's happening with this Khashoggi incident, which may have happened. It seems like if it did, he's dead. If the Saudi Arabians did this, if they were so stupid to perform this murder and this grotesque torture and cutting off of his fingers and then trying to lie about it, then they really are doomed to political removal just out of their retardation and stupidity, because it's destroyed the world's trust in Saudi Arabia. No one with any brain will ever invest in Saudi Arabia. And I think we're going to witness that because of the financial disinvestment and the distancing of the world away from Saudi Arabia, you'll have a prime candidate in Erdogan and Iran to come together and set up a diplomatic agreement with Russia brokering it, that recognizing Saudi Arabia is done, and now we have to recognize the new world order, and that is Iran, Russia, Turkey, and Europe, to balance out the warmongering objective of John Bolton and the other neocons that have hijacked the American foreign policy since 9/11. And let's never forget 9/11, which was the greatest false flag attack in the history of civilization. Khashoggi and the Saudi Arabians bear a lot to bear in their complicity with that CIA, Mossad, Shin Bet operation. So I think besides Saudi Arabia's fall, we could be witnessing Netanyahu and the Israeli Zionist Khazarian mafia's fall. So don't be surprised if Netanyahu's wife gets indicted, and Netanyahu does, and they all get removed in the same swipe of the broom as the dust and the dirt that they are.
Thank you, Scott, for joining us. Mr. Scott Bennett, editor Perspective, political commentator, and military expert, joining us out of San Francisco, California.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukal Kadash. Double honors to elders and apostles, great millstone, who are teaching this truth. And Shas Yakim out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. As you know, Saudi Arabia has been the hotbed as of late because of the murder of a journalist inside of the Istanbul a consulate there, and they murdered him because he was a truther. I believe he worked for the Wall Street Journal. Anyways, Esau's been trying to cover this up because, of course, Saudi Arabia is the main place where they send the terrorists from. You know, that's how they took Iraq back during Desert Storm. That's how they've launched, they took over the land of Egypt, overthrowing Hosni Mubarak. They overthrow Libya using Saudi Arabia and Tunisia. They've overthrown all these governments most of the time during the Obama administration. Then they sent those same terrorists into Syria. And so Saudi Arabia, and don't forget, Yemen. And Yemen pretty much is the greatest catastrophe out of all of these, because they have decimated this place. They've killed school children, on buses and shit, and just the atrocities are just continue. But Saudi Arabia is just doing the bidding of the United States, of America, Babylon the Great. And that is the Valley Yehoshaphat, which I was just on the streets teaching not so long ago. So I'm just going to get into this, continuing on from Joel chapter 3. And so verse 7, Behold, I will raise them out of the place to which you have sold them, and will return retaliation upon your own head. I will set your sons and your daughters into the land of the people of Judah, and they will sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have spoken. Proclaim this among the nations, prepare for war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And we're seeing that, Iran and all these other places are standing up to the bully, because the United States is a fucking bully. And these countries are not going to be bullied by America anymore. They're fucking fed up with it. And that's what's happening. Let the weak say I'm strong. Assemble and come, all nations, all and gather together all around. Cause your mighty ones to go down there, O Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and cast off all pity. His anger tore perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman. It's talking about the so-called prudent, the proud, the Americans, America, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Basra is another key word for America. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of the people of Ammon, and 4, I will not turn away its punishment, because they ripped up open the woman with child in Gilead, that they might enlarge their territory. But I will kindle a fire in the wall of Rabbah, and it shall devour its palaces. Oh, this is Amos chapter 1, sorry. But either way, though, it's still on the subject. Amid shouting in the day of battle, and in tempest in the day of the whirlwind, which is talking about the thermonuclear destruction. The final judgments can come upon Babylon the Great. Their king shall go into captivity, he and his princes together, saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I see what happened. Pages were stuck together. Isn't that interesting? I just went, but yet it's saying the same thing that Joel chapter 3 is. Okay. Yeah. Cause your mighty ones to go down there, O Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Verse 11. Let the nations be wakened and come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat, which is right there in Saudi Arabia, and the peninsula there, that whole Arabian peninsula. For there I will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. For in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, go down, for the winepress is full. The vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. And of course, we're seeing that because everybody knows that the United States is behind ISIS, and that ISIS is coming out of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Jordan, all them places, have harvested this. And of course, the Israeli state, Amalek, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is near. In the valley of decision, the sun and the moon will grow dark. That's by way of this thermonuclear destruction. And the stars will diminish their brightness. The Lord will roar from Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. The heavens and the earth will shake. But the Lord will be a shelter for his people and the strength of the children of Israel. That's when he comes back in the chariot to gather his elect. So you shall know that I am the Lord, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Which another term for that is talking about the big flying roll. The holy mountain, his holy people, which are the Israelites, the 12 tribes. Then Jerusalem shall be holy, and no aliens shall ever pass through her again. So in other words, unless you're a slave, that is, and we're the ones moving you, you're not going to ever inhabit that land again. Palestinians ain't going to have it. You goddamn Amalekites ain't going to have it. No, man, we're going to have our land back. Fuck all you goddamn pieces of shit. Verse 19, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom a desolate wilderness, because of violence against the people of Judah, for they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall abide forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. That's talking about the northern and southern kingdom. We will abide forever. For I will acquit them of the guilt of bloodshed, whom I have acquitted. For the Lord dwells in Zion. So in other words, even the 2/3 that ain't going to make it in this second death will eventually be acquitted, because they'll be born again through the elect of 1/3, and hopefully we're a part of that. But like everything else, what's going on, though, is that all these nations are gathering, encompassing around Saudi Arabia and the region, especially Syria, and like I've stated on numerous occasions, as many others see it, that once they hit Damascus and Damascus gets taken out, that's the end of it. you know, because also they're going to try to make their move against Iran, not far from it, but Russia's going to stop them, you know, because in 1 hour, this place, Babylon the Great, America will be destroyed. And that's what we're praying for, you know. We're praying for this destruction to come because we're sick of it. We don't want to be oppressed anymore. We're tired of the injustices. We're tired of Esau getting away with shit. His fucking court systems are all fucking corrupt. I'm paying on a goddamn fine I shouldn't be paying for. I stood there in goddamn fucking DMV all motherfucking day because DMV fucking sucks to get a goddamn temporary moving permit for my car that was on and up. You get a temporary moving permit, which I did get, so I could get my car to pass smog. And sure thing, you know, like everything else, because it had been sitting for a while, I had to run the car long enough. The smog shop told me that I needed to run it a little bit longer, and upon doing that, a fucking piece of shit, goddamn motherfucking highway patrol pulls me over and said that the fucking temporary was no good, wasn't valid, so I'm paying over $300 because I'm not going to get rid of my car. I just put $300 some odd dollars into, but come to find out though that the car needs a fucking catalytic converter, but I seem to believe though that it's more the motor mounts because I don't see anything else. But nonetheless though, I'm paying on a goddamn fine because Esau's a piece of shit. His fucking court systems are corrupt. Sears, the main reason why that went down is because the fucking CEO was taking dividends, borrowing against the company, writing checks to himself. Just like you saw in Fun with Dick and Jane, which I said this on the streets earlier today. So, you know, all these things are going on. In the meantime, though, these other countries are standing up to America, and they're not going to let this Saudi journalist thing go quietly, even though America, Donald Trump wants to make it go quiet. And like I said, the Democrats will try to use that against Trump in the so-called campaign against him. But like everything else, though, Bernie Sanders will be most likely the guy running against him on the Democratic Party. But Donald J. Trump is going to become reelected, and that's when I believe all hell's going to fucking break loose. And we're going to see the martial law, the rollout of the mark of the beast, all of that. You know, but is going to keep on pushing because look at what's happening with you know, our people coming up. Why? Because there was a video that was a few videos ago, because I've been showing videos from others for the past few days, you know, through the premiere, and you see though that they're coming up because America is creating chaos in their land just like they're doing in Syria. They've been doing this in Central America and South America, and somebody finally has put together a video proving that. You know, Guatemala, all them places, America's causing the unrest there, so that's why they're coming up, because they're refugees, just like you have the Syrian refugees, all orchestrated by the Amalekites. So that's what's going on there, because they're oppressing our people, because we know we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. And you know that martial law is eventually going to come here. They're going to cause more chaos around here. They're just waiting for the perfect time to do so. So, you know, I believe Trump being reelected and the protests and all that are going to lead to the martial law, and that's going to be it. You know, and pretty much martial law will be enforced, and then, you know, you have to have real ID. I mean, that's part of 2019 agenda as well. All states have to have real ID now, and eventually that's going to be replaced by the microchip. So all this is coming very fast. For that, I want to say, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadosh, Barakatham. Now on to some other videos some brothers have put up.
Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadosh. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect throughout the four corners of the earth. Keeping an close eye on Saudi Arabia, man, because prophecy is rolling and the Most High is dealing. You know, this World War III is being stirred up, and when it go down, you know, people start killing each other. You know, it's not just going to happen out of nowhere. You know, like These countries going to go to war, nuclear missiles going to be shot, but it's going to be events leading up to that. That's why us as men of the Lord have to keep an eye on these events. You have to be into politics. You have to watch what's going on, man. You have to know these countries, their names, their capitals, you know, because they don't say Turkey all the time. They might say Ankara. They don't say Israel all the time. They might say Jerusalem. They don't say America all the time. They say Washington. You know? The Free Syrian Army, the Assad regime. You have to know, get in tune with these key players and the name of them to know what's going on. Like, in order to learn chess, you have to know the name of each piece, and you have to know how each piece moves and what's going on, the history, what's being involved. So the Lord working on the spirits of these nations. This is and the sixth angel pulled out his rod on the Revelation 16 and 12 upon a great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, which is the Roman Catholic Church. And the 3 unclean spirits is they military, they politics from like monetary, the money, which is like from Britain, they military, America, and they religion, which is what the Vatican, you know. For they are spirits of devils working miracles, and go forth to the kings of the earth and to the whole world to gather them together to that great day of the Almighty, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So there you go. So you got the Lord, got the angels out here working on the minds of the kings to get them to clash, you know, to get them the turn them whatever way He will, you know. Because this is the Most High's movie. They say all wars are banker wars, but yeah, all wars is the wars of the Most High. Proverbs 21 and 1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, He turneth whatsoever He will. Right, and the Lord got this thing going down, man. The way and the direction He got it going down. And you have to keep your eye on these fucking Edomites. See, Esau, he knows what's going on. Esau's king, this is Esau's rulership. So Esau's keeping a close eye. They get the news really before we get it. Certain Edomites be on that shit, man. You know, brothers be on it too. But these Edomites, they shit, they trying to keep it afloat. You know, sometimes Jake be lagging, like the Chicago say, they be lacking, you know. Sometimes Jake be lacking on the news feed, or these Edomites be on that shit, man. They got bread, money, and insiders to get these reports, man. So stay on. I'm gonna play these Edomites, these devils, and they bringing it out, man. 4 main reasons what's going on with Saudi Arabia over this guy Jihad Khashoggi that was killed and murdered. This journalist for Saudi Arabia, and also for the the U.S. Post, you know. So sanctions might get involved, and that shit is just gonna cause a domino effect. So I'm gonna just play these devils right quick. Hopefully I don't get flagged for this shit. Y'all subscribe to this. This True News, one of my top feed, along with Dina Cal. Dina Cal be bringing it out too. You know, I'm gonna bring some shit out. She just like updated the whole shit. Dina Cal. But subscribe to these devils, and really they talk about what's going on, but they in fear of their society falling. So they're gonna bring it out, possibilities and directions the Lord can have this thing blowing with Saudi Arabia.
Ayatollah Ali Khamenei calling the United States the enemy. That's nothing new. Right. That's not news. But he said Iran would cooperate with Eastern nations, meaning Russia and China. So there's an alliance that's forming. and there will be a new economic system. That is the most dangerous thing, and I'm speaking, to our audience in America. The greatest danger that we're facing right now is the collapse of our economic system.
Yes. Right. And we could wake up one morning and suddenly the petrodollar is gone.
I have warned for years that this is going to happen during the night.
And if you would have said, once again, going back in time a little bit, if you would have said to me a month ago, if that's possible, based on everything that's going on with our relationship with Saudi Arabia and Israel and the alliances that they were making, I would have said, I don't see how that could happen. But now that pressure is there, the accusations are flying back and forth between nations now, especially over the events of the past few days. So it's very possible that we could wake up one morning and say, what happened during the night? And we were reset.
Yeah, and the Lord said, what? He gonna come like a thief in the night. That's ultimately his second return in the destruction. But also, that's multifold, because that the monetary system of America is gonna fall that fast.
Yes. And where everything just shifted, where one nation said, I think we're going to start doing business over here now.
And the thing is that this isn't hyperbole, this isn't theory. This was actually threatened through one of Saudi Arabia's main television news outlets. I'm talking about their general manager published an op-ed only 2 days ago threatening that if the United States and its Western allies were to go ahead with potential sanctions based around the death or alleged death of Jamal Khashoggi, that Saudi Arabia would look at dumping the United States as basically the resolution currency for their oil. They would literally trade the petrodollar in for the petro yuan.
Right. So there you go. If they was to sanction Saudi Arabia, it possibly, they could say fuck the petrodollar, OPEC and them different countries, fuck the petrodollar, right? We gonna go with the petro yuan, which is going strengthening China. They gonna strengthen them eastern countries, man, because it's already a trade war going off with the two world biggest economies, which is China and America. You know what I'm saying? So, man, hey, it's heating up, man. It's heating up.
Edward, the executive of that Arab television network is Saudi Arabian, Al Arabia. I think he made 3 threats. That's correct.
Let's list them in order.
So the first quote is, as I mentioned here, is the change, petrodollar for petro yuan. The second one is that if the United States did this, were to put sanctions on Saudi Arabia, oil may go up to $400 a barrel. That's U.S. price.
$400. Cause and the way this devil Donald Trump is moving, man, really it's the Lord. It's all set up through the bankers and the Lord. But to put it on a lower level, this devil Trump, because he's the face that's out there, right? So the pride of this devil, man. So hey, you drop sanctions on these dudes, right? They could skyrocket all you $400 a barrel.
Okay, the third one is that Russia may be invited into Saudi Arabia to set up their own military base. Actually, at a key point in the northwestern portion of the country that would give Russia another place to control the air between Israel, and Jordan, and Syria. The last one, a lot of people didn't see this one, Rick, is that Saudi Arabia may end their decade-long turf war with Iran. They may actually pursue, inform an alliance with Iran over this.
So there you go, and that's pursuing of what Ezekiel 15. I mean 2nd Ezra 15 and 28, man. So man, the Lord ain't playing. See, like if you got, these prophecies, man, because the spirit, the testimony of Yahweh is the spirit of prophecies. Everything is lining up. Everything is lining up.
I know it sounds crazy, but when you break it all down, Rick,
but that now makes Go ahead, Doc.
When you break it all down, if the events of the past week, if we're having like an Archduke Ferdinand moment that, brought us into World War I, but if we're having one of those moments right now with this journalist that has supposedly been killed, then we are possibly seeing a big shift not only within geopolitics, but also within the Muslim world itself, where you would see alliances now that would actually bring factions of the Muslim world together that were, arch nemesis for centuries.
But if Saudi Arabia kisses up to Iran and the Sunnis and the Shias become allies, Israel now has serious problems.
And speaking...
Right, because really, Israel only... See, Saudi Arabia don't fuck with Israel. But since America backs Israel and Saudi Arabia, they kind of like neutral, but they don't really fuck with them rats, But due to what's going on with Saudi Arabia now, and them sanctions, they was to drop them sanctions on Saudi Arabia, Russia could move in, and Russia's little brother is Iran. Russia could move in, set up shop in Saudi Arabia, set up the S-300s, get positioning up in it, and Saudi Arabia takes up a great portion of the Middle East, just like Iran do, Persia. So set up shop in there, get them S-300, S-400s up in there, right, and get position on Jordan, get position on Israel, and get position in Iraq.
We mentioned the conversations that Egypt and Russia have been having, but just a couple weeks ago, Rick, we were talking about Egypt and Israel having intelligence confabs, and then we also talked about all these evangelical leaders that have been going to Egypt and talking to high level,
President Sisi.
Yeah, talking to President Sisi and having those conversations, and now we have this with Russia. So there is something happening under the water, if you will. I mean, we see the waves on top, but it appears there's some things happening under the water here that something could come up out of the water and bite us.
All right, I want to go back to this threat made on Saudi Arabian television, Al Arabia television, which is funded by the Saudi government. Yes. This is like their national public television, right? So nothing is said on that television network unless the kings and the royal family wants it said. All right. So he made 3 or 4 threats. I really want our audience to listen to this again, because I
listen up. 3 or 4 threats.
I think it's easy for us just to hear it and gloss over it and not ponder the significance of what this man said 2 days ago on Saudi television. Let's go over the list one more time.
All right, so the first one, trading in the petrodollar for the petro-yuan. This is an actual quote from Turki Aldakil, the general manager of Al Arabia. An oil barrel may be priced in a different currency, Chinese yuan, perhaps, instead of the dollar. And oil is the most important commodity traded by the dollar today.
All right, let's stop right there. So the U.S. dollar has been the petrodollar ever since the days of Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger, after President Nixon took the U.S. dollar off the gold standard.
Right.
And he replaced it with Saudi oil. And the deal that was made in, 1973 was, if the Saudis agreed that all oil in the world would be traded in U.S. dollars, then the United States would provide military protection to the Saudi government.
Yes.
And that's why the U.S. got so many bases everywhere, due to the petrodollar. So it was a win-win situation with that petrodollar. It was extortion, because you had to get money. You had to convert. You had to convert your dollars into U.S. dollars in order to buy oil, no matter where in the globe you was, or you had to have like a commodity. you had to have like a product. Case in point, Japanese make Hondas. So you will ship a bunch of Hondas into the United States for US dollars, and you would take those dollars to purchase barrels of oil based upon what? The petrodollar. You know? So that whole and they would say based upon you using your oil to back the dollar and the dollar only, we would set up U.S. military bases in your lands to give you extra protection. But really, it's not really extra protection. It's the United States getting also position on certain other countries and able to put U.S. embassies every fucking where like that behind that petrodollar. So, because they had the gold standard. So, but when countries started pulling out of the gold, America backed out. You know, like, look, we're going to pull $1 off of the gold under Nixon. We're going to pull $1 off of the gold and put it under the oil and under those deals, though, what I just mentioned. You know? So, man, which bought America an extra 50 years. They was, man, you fucking devils is on borrowed time, man. Which, from Nixon to now, which bought you basically an extra 50 years under that petrodollar. But now that shit is getting dropped, and you're gonna have to go to fucking war, man. You're gonna have to go to war.
That's why we have never done anything against Saudi Arabia, no matter what they do, because there's a deal. You prop up the dollar, we prop up your regime.
That's basically it.
That's the deal right there. And listen, what Nixon and Kissinger did, I don't agree with it, but it was slick. It was definitely a slick move, because Nixon took us off the gold standard. That's another discussion about what was happening. The Brits, according to Pat Buchanan, the Brits were raiding Fort Knox. The British government was cashing in, wanting gold. And that's what forced President Nixon's hand. He had to stop it. All right, they were taking the gold. And so that's a reality. So what they did is a very slick move. And it gave the United States, gave the U.S. dollar, what, 50 years, 50 plus years?
Of extra life.
Of extra life. It's now about to go kaput.
It's running on fumes.
It's running on fumes, because if he has been told by the king, we're going to switch over. We're going to switch over to the we're going to have the Petro-Yuan currency. We're going to link Saudi oil to China. And where does China get their oil? They get their oil from
Russia is actually one of the main ones.
Russia, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. Okay.
But if they're denominating oil in yuan, then that gives China the power to be able to negotiate even better prices for fuel, for oil, and to give them the power.
It also gives them the out on their debt.
So,
yes, think about it. The United States has basically free reign when it comes to incurring debt on a national level, because we control the petrodollar.
Yes, so all oil trading in the world will cease to be done in dollars. The only country that will be buying oil in dollars will be the United States.
And we'd be buying our own oil in dollars. I mean, that's the only place, because, and have you noticed here over the past week or so, Rick, how they've been touting how we're energy independent now?
Yes.
Really bringing that out as if they see something happening on the horizon. So this slick deal may be encountering an oil slick politically here, maybe within days or weeks.
All right, so number two.
So number two was that if sanctions were put on Saudi Arabia, the effect may cause them not only to default on 7.5 million barrels of oil they've committed to the market, but it would send the price of oil globally to $400 a barrel.
Just quickly, that would put gasoline here in the United States, what, $15 to $20 a gallon?
$30, I think we're days.
How much?
$30.
$30?
We couldn't pay it. Can you imagine paying $30 a barrel?
A gallon.
For a gallon. Can you imagine doing that?
Yeah. So, which is prophecy. Now, it's this article when trucks stop, America stop. Because everything, see, $400 a barrel equals $30 a gallon. Man, even if you get the average car, I'm in this car now, I get 28 miles a gallon, close to 30. That's like a dollar a mile. You paying $1 a mile. Shit is shut down. All these cop cars, and now you got trucks, the cop trucks, the vans, they get less than 30 miles a gallon. You got these trucks and shit, 12 miles a gallon, 10 miles a gallon. Everything will get shut down. Police won't be, shit is just going to fucking chaos, man. Everything will get put on a halt. And shit is just going to spin out of control, man. $30 a gallon? You know? That's... shit. He gonna break it down.
Wow. Imagine a gallon of gas, $30. You know, a gallon of gas, average mileage 30 miles to a gallon. I mean, would you pay $1 a mile to drive?
The U.S. economy just would stop. Right? The U.S. economy just stops.
Yeah. Right.
It just stops.
Because our warehouse is on the highway, so all those trucks would basically come to a standstill because they couldn't afford it.
That's right. So see, this is why we've been talking about the alleged murder of this gentleman, Mr. Khashoggi, for several days, because this is what's at stake.
Right.
There's something going on behind the scenes that's much bigger than just this man's murder. So what else did the Al Arabia executive say?
The third one is that the Kremlin, Russia, may be able to open up a base on the northwest corner of Saudi Arabia, giving them access to both Syria, to Jordan, Israel, and Iraq, giving them literally, as they referred to it actually, as the four corner plan. This is the quote. Imposing any type of...
The four corner. But look, the real four corners is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah delivering the elect out the four corners. And he working on the king's minds on the four corners of the earth to drag on the war. So that's spiritual.
Sanctions on Saudi Arabia by the West will cause the kingdom to resort to other options. U.S. President Donald Trump has said a few days ago that Russia and China are ready to fulfill Riyadh's military needs, among others. No one can deny the repercussions of these sanctions will include a Russian military base in Tabuk, northwest of Saudi Arabia, in the hated four corners of Syria, Israel, Lebanon, and Iraq.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling.
I mean, you haven't seen anything like this since the days of the Soviet Union, where you had the Soviets, they were arming Egypt, they were arming Yemen. I mean, you saw geopolitically.
Yeah, because what? The scriptures say Russia is going to be that guard. See, that sleeping bear is awoken. You know? They dropped that S-300 in Syria and put up that no-fly zone. Israel was doing hundreds of fucking strikes over there. But, hey, man, don't let them fucking proxy armies like the Houthis and Hezbollah get a hold of, like, S-300s and shit like that. Man, it's a fucking wrap.
They were trying to control the Sinai Peninsula.
They didn't have bases.
Right, now.
Bases. Bases of operation, not just for jets, but also for drones, for intelligence agents, for proxy fighters. This is such a huge change. Remember, where was the military invasion planned in that Grand Arab Army? It was the northwest portion of Saudi Arabia. This would end any coalition idea of a U.S.-led Arab army invading Syria, Iraq, or Iran.
Right? So he has threatened the end of the petrodollar. Number two, the introduction of the petro yuan. Oil going to $400 a barrel. And a Russian military base in Saudi Arabia. Is there anything else?
If that wasn't enough.
If that was to go down, the Lord have it play like that, that's a fucking bad chess move. You know them chess moves, you'd be like, damn. Like, that shit fucked the whole game up. You know? That would be a bad chess move. But keep your eye on it. We're going to see what happens.
Here's another threat. Here's the icing on the cake. All of these actions could unite the entire Middle East with Iran against the United States. So could Russia bring peace to the Middle East by uniting all the Muslim world?
And the scripture, Russia shall be backed by these nations, you know. But Russia is going to be backing these nations, you know, and shit. Saudi Arabia link up with Iran, you know, they Muslim brothers through that religion. They two separate nations, which is Persia and Ishmael, but Elam and Ishmael, but they brothers through that Islam shit. So once they link up, all them fucking Arab motherfuckers gonna link up. Pakistan, all of them. You know? Then they all being led and backed by Russia. The only motherfucker that's over there that ain't gonna be over there is who? Them fucking Israeli rats, man. And they just gonna get fucking aired out.
They would have to get Israel under control.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they've got S-400 or S-500 technology that they'd be implementing all these different nations, including Saudi Arabia, Egypt, maybe even a partnership with Jordan. I mean, think about that.
Israel would have to go back to its pre-1967 boundaries.
Right. Which Russia has been holding the line on, and they've been consistent about that they've been saying Israel needs to go back to its 67 borders.
The only way Israel would be allowed to continue to exist would be to retreat and go back to where they were at before 1967, because they've been occupying land that they took in military campaigns, which was never part of the UN resolution in 1947, 1948. And so the Russians and the Arabs together could tell Israel, you have two choices here. Either go back to pre-1967 and calm down. No more attacks. You cannot bomb Syria. You cannot launch operations. You cannot have Mossad operations destabilizing other countries. Either you become a peaceful country in the Middle East, or you cease to exist.
And that's fucking impossible, because the Lord said what? There is no peace unto the wicked. You know, Jeremiah 48:22, I believe. Let me get that right quick. I ain't really want to make this long, but hey man, you can't control the spirit all the time, you know. 48:22. Maybe it's Isaiah. and 22. There is no peace, said the Lord, unto the wicked. Right? So these devils ain't gonna live in peace, especially you fucking rats. You know? They ain't gonna do that. So you gonna have to exterminate these fucking rats. But you Russians ain't gonna exterminate them. You gonna blow them to hell and back. But we gonna round their ass up after they 1,000 years of captivity. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the elect men of Israel, and shit, the 2/3 will be back by then, living right, you know. Then the whole nation gonna see your ass fucking exterminated.
It'll be a new 1967 war if they go the other route.
Oh no, this is not 1967. No, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
There ain't no yeah, because this war shall be with burning and fuel of fire. It's over. They gonna nuke that shit. They gonna clear them rats the fuck up out of there, man.
You'd have the entire Arab world backed by Russia telling the Israelis, either you calm down and get yourself under control, or you cease to exist.
Woo! That's fucking music, baby. That's music, man. Keep your eye on Saudi Arabia. Man, this could be a game changer. You know, this could be this chess. Hey, the Lord is moving these chess pieces. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Watch Saudi Arabia. Shalom. Death to America.
Hey, Shalom, brothers. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It is your brother Ayathun. Double honor to the apostles and to you brothers out there and to your elders who are sincere. Shalom to y'all sisters out there. Shalom. Once again, this is your brother Ayathun, and it's going to be a quick video. I would like to pass on some information Spirit had me run into regarding the YouTube outage, which happened 2 days ago. Now, YouTube is owned by Google, and YouTube is the largest online video platform in the entire world. This was a worldwide outage that happened 2 days ago, and for a website of this magnitude, that's a no-no. That raises a red flag, because shit like that, things like that don't happen for a website of this magnitude. They have backups, they have safety precautions. It just doesn't happen. Only time something like that would happen for a website like that is if they're doing some type of update to the website, you know, or fixing something, and even then they don't have to take the system down. For Google, you know, the amount of money they have, and there's no reason why YouTube should have went down for any reason. So that raises a red flag. So, you know, the Spirit had me looking into this, and I found out some information, you know, that there had to be something behind it. So apparently what happened is this. So this is from one of the websites I go to a lot, AboveTopSecret.com, and this article here: did YouTube go down to erase a live stream of an image hitting the moon? So apparently this is what happened 2 days ago when YouTube went down. NASA was live streaming the moon. I don't know what they were doing on the moon, but you know, there's a lot of NASA frequently, they I believe they have a 24/7 live stream of outer space on YouTube. And apparently what happened was during that time 2 days ago, there was they say there was an object hitting the moon, and what it had to be is a chariot, because there have been reportings, and there's actually video out there on YouTube from NASA of chariots actually flying into the sun, flying into and out of the sun. And there is a video out there. Some people say it's fake. I looked at it, it looked real, you know, but you can't tell, of this object going into the moon, and it looked like a chariot, you know. But I don't believe that is the real footage, because it was during the day. This happened during night, and there's footage out there, which I'm gonna play for you in a moment, that supposedly this is a footage that caused YouTube to cut. Basically, they shut down the entire YouTube to prevent anybody else recording this or whatever, watching the live stream, to cut connections. As soon as they saw this happening, they cut the live stream. Now, the video I have, which was recorded from 2 days ago, shows actually a fleet of chariots flying past the moon. And this is, when they saw this, they just shut the stream. They shut down the entire YouTube. It took 2 hours for a website of this magnitude, and the amount of money they have and the technicians they have on board. If something were to happen to YouTube, that it did go down for some unknown or unexpected behavior, they have technicians and backups that will have it up within a couple minutes. This took 2 hours, which means they were probably going in there cleaning up any evidence, anybody that might have been recording it or whatever, any evidence of this happening, you see. So I'm gonna play the footage for y'all. See if I still have it. Here it is. So let me play the footage for you, and I'm just gonna jump.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to keep it down to a low and proper love. We were typing to each other. You a sky right there. I mean, that's... Others are saying it's a flying serpent.
There we go.
If anybody is browsing the deep web tonight and you find a video of anything hitting the moon from today, I would love if you would send it to me. You guys want to see this again?
Super chat is fun. Thanks for your videos.
Okay, the dark spot, thank you, brother,
is an imperfection in the Cascade
This is from tonight's live stream. The video is privated right now until I edit it.
Spotting a lot of white orbs going in
I'll
and
show
out.
it to you guys again.
Okay, the dark
What is
spot
that? Some of you guys are saying it's a fleet of UFOs heading towards the moon.
Whoa!
Others are saying it's a flying serpent. That's a fisheye lens. I mean, that's the whole sky right there. Whatever it is, it's huge.
A lot of white orbs going in and out.
Whatever that is,
Okay, the
it
dark
is
spot
absolutely
is an
huge,
imperfection
or
in
it's a bunch
Cascade
of
2.
small objects.
And whoa!
Look at that. It's like a...
Now, you brothers can look up on YouTube. There's a chariot that they call the Black Knight, and this was from footage that NASA caught. And it was a chariot that was black. It was completely opaque. It was black, and it was flying across the screen. They call it the Black Knight. And over there on the left was definitely a fleet of chariots. Look online on YouTube, NASA smoking gun, NASA secret transmissions. And this is video footage that they've hidden for years of chariots that they've seen flying in outer space, and they look just like that. So that was definitely chariots. And when NASA saw this, they cut the stream. They shut down all of YouTube. Okay? And that is the reason why, and this is a so-called conspiracy, it's a rumor, but I believe it to be a fact. Okay? Now I'm gonna bring out a couple scriptures here. Matter of fact, let me go, what do I have here? Let me go here. Okay? Now the elites, NASA number one is a war program. It's a war program to fight against the chariots when they come. Yahweh Shai and the chariots. That's in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. And we know the chariots are out there. The chariots are out there heavy. So we know, we see that there's no such thing as flying debris in outer space. There's no garbage out of there, any of that bullshit. There's chariots out there, okay? And meteorites. Meteorites don't cut corners and take lefts and rights, okay? So those are chariots. Now, when you read in the book of Genesis, I just want to show you that the chariots are heavy out there. The book of Genesis, when it talks about the Spirit of the Most High moved deep upon the face of the waters, it's talking about the chariots, because that word there, moved, is, let me see if I could do this, okay? Let me see. Yeah, right there. In Genesis 1 and 2, and it says the spirit of the powers moved upon the face of the waters. Now, when you look up that word "move," it goes here to rakap, which means, look at number 2, to hover. Okay, to hover. So we know that's talking about the chariots. Another proof is if you follow the other scriptures where that same word is used. Look at Deuteronomy 32:11. An eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young. It's the same word. Rakap. All right, right here in Deuteronomy 32:11, fluttereth. Now you know what that's talking about when a bird is flying and hovering over its nest. It's hovering like a chariot does. So we know it's definitely the chariots is definitely talking about the chariots. Okay. Now let me get. Another scripture. There's another one. Look at that. Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So yes, there are fleets and fleets of angels out there in the heavens just flying around. Because remember what the Yahweh Shai said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. I go to prepare to prepare them for you. So the angels are out there, just like when you read the book of Genesis, how they were hovering around, you know, creating the earth out of the void space. They're out there in the heavens, hovering around, creating. Yahushua and the angels are creating the kingdom of heaven out there in the outer space for us, you know. And it's also in the book of Obadiah when it talks about how Esau set his nest up in the heavens. It's talking about how up there they have their space stations, okay? They have their Hubble telescopes or satellites in their space stations, and they're out there monitoring, you know, they're out there monitoring and creating habitations out there in the heavens for them to live, to hopefully escape the nuclear destruction, you see? Yeah, but I'm not going to go too deep, too far into this, because, you know, you brothers know what's up with that, with Esau and the space stations and all that. My main thing is I want to bring some light to why YouTube went down, and that basically the chariots are making moves, and the Most High, Yahushua, the angels are letting Esau know that they're coming for their ass, you know. And you know, with that, I'm gonna say shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, shalom.
Shalom. This is Rakar. I'm here with the other brothers, man. Brothers get introduce themselves.
Give all praise to Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua. Rakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This is Rakar. We're streaming from
GMS Spiritual Soldier.
Yep. And I'm also streaming on my page, GMS Push On. We have this camera going. I got my camera going because, you know, I'm going to upload this video onto my site. We're going live on GMS Spiritual Soldier. We're going live, but on my page, GMS Push On, I'm just recording, which as soon as we're done, I'm going to upload it on mine. Okay. And, you know, you see the brother, we got the brother here that was died. The brother Menatazak. Elder Menatazak, that's what the elders here. You know what I mean? Man. We're all here, whatever, man. All the titles.
Titles.
Elder, whatever. But we are, the word apostle means sent forth. So we are sent forth to do the work.
Yeah, we're apostles, you know.
Right.
But you know,
we're all apostles.
Technically, we're all apostles. But the thing is, man, what's the title mean if you don't make it?
Yeah, that's right. You gotta make the title.
Hey, man, I'll take the lowest title, like King David. He said he'd be a gatekeeper just as long as he was able to make it, man. You know?
Exactly. So basically, man, we pushing this out there, this video, and we just going on. You know, we ain't gonna go for too long, but the spirit is on us. These brothers came over to the house, and so we're gonna do this video. I'm a Ratazah, man. And there's a lot of shit going on the news today. Okay. They try to blow up my man Obama and Hillary Clinton, which we know that's all bullshit. It's really basically a flash. What do we call it?
A false flag.
False flags. Excuse me. False flags.
Actually, that's what they call it in the newspaper. It said false. This is out of RT News. False flags or MAGA bomber. Okay, explosive devices sent to Democrats to divide America, because pretty much that's all part of the agenda of the New World. You know, that's part of the New World Order. You know,
because if they really want to kill, listen, man, these elites, if they really want to kill somebody, they're gonna kill you, man.
That's right.
They could get you. If they really want Obama dead or Hillary Clinton dead or whoever, so on and so forth, they can do it, man. They don't gotta blow you up.
Yeah, George Soros.
Yeah.
From out, just read a little bit.
Yes, sir.
It says, what do the Clintons, Obamas, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, George Soros, Maxine Waters, and CNN have in common? They're all outspoken critics of President Donald Trump and recipients of pipe bomb packages. Is there a connection? That's the question they ask. You see, and what that's showing is the downfall of America, because that's what Matthew the 12th chapter.
That's right.
When Yahushua said 12 and was it 36?
Yeah, we'll read it.
You know, so that's what that symbolizes. It says a pipe bomb was delivered to the CNN headquarters in New York City on Wednesday morning, and it was addressed to former CIA chief John Brennan, who was actually an MSNBC pundit, and had the return address of Representative Wasserman Schultz. The envelope had insufficient postage and misspelled Brennan's name in Florida. And like the apostle said, if they really wanted to take these devils out, any of these jokers out, they could have took them out already, man.
That's right.
You know, so this is all the thing of bread and circus, smoke and mirrors, and pretty much, man, we at the point where we like, look, man, bring it on, man.
Cut the internet too.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a beautiful, oh man, because that's a spirit too, man. Because it's gonna happen. You see, you think Esau gonna keep allowing this, and especially with the prophets back, starting with the head apostles, all right, and all the other apostles and elders and brothers, the men of GMS that's out there, as well as other Israelite groups that's constantly putting that fire on Esau. You think they're gonna keep allowing this, man, for them to get exposed like this?
Yeah.
Even though that's a final plank of their New World Order, where they start bringing in all hell is what? The point of exposure, where because they believe that people are so stupid, even if you expose them and show that they're the devil and they've been behind all these false flags, people still ain't gonna care.
Yeah, right.
They're still gonna be ready to accept the New World Order.
That's right. Well, we're at that point. We're really, like, and we're gonna go back once again to Jake. And by now, y'all should know who the hell Jake. Jake is the 12 tribes of Israel, our people. Y'all gone.
Yep.
And the 2/3, and I was talking to a brother on the phone, the elder Uriah from the Chicago camp, one of the top elders of the Chicago camp, Elder Uriah. Y'all know who he is. I was on the phone with him prior to these brothers coming over, and we were just chopping it up, at least maybe for an hour on the phone. You know how it can be when you get on the phone with a brother, especially, excuse me, a brother that you haven't talked to in a while, and we were conversating in this building, man, and it's like, yeah, Jake is gone. And I said, the longer you in this truth, and the older you get in this truth, you fully understand the scriptures, man. Why the Most High want to destroy Jake, our people. You niggas are wicked as all goddamn hell. You understand why the Most High, when he was coming out of Egypt, he told Moses, move aside and let me wipe them out. And Moses had the reason with the Most. Well, look, Lord, you said this and you made the promise. Because Israel is wicked, man. The elder Abba here has a scripture.
Real quick. It's Hosea 4, chapter 4, verse 6.
Hosea 4:6.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
And we've been saying that, brothers. We've been bringing out videos lately. Here it is, man. Now, especially, as you know, Esau's involved. You niggas, you black conscious guys, and you got a whole group of niggas out there. They're dead set trying to debunk the fact that we're Israelites.
Right.
Trying to disprove that the Native Americans and the Latinos are Israelites, which we know that's complete fucking buffoonery. Other than that, how you gonna look at the Latinos, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and say they're not Israelites? How you gonna look at the Native Americans and say they're not Israelites? But you have these group of niggas and niggerettes that's out there trying to disprove it. They're destroyed.
Yep.
And y'all trying to delve back deep into this African shit, when the word Africa itself is a Caucasian name.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's another thing. I mean, niggas forgot all about that. That the original land wasn't called Africa, and it's well known that his name, pardon me, after Leo Scipio Africanus. If I'm pronouncing his name fucking right, because I don't give a damn about being politically correct and pronouncing the names of these.
Talk about that. Yeah. Well, what did the Apostle Paul say?
That's right.
Scripture. Though I be rude in speech, I'm not rude in knowledge.
Not in knowledge.
We don't let like you niggas see another dumb niggas. They go with that because the way you talk is eloquent, like brother polite, and all that bullshit. Like the elder Ariella from Texas, from the Dallas camp says that smart guy talk.
Yeah.
And you niggas, you people in the world, you're carnal and not spiritual. If a guy gets up and talking like Felix Unger, and with a bow tie on, with a tuxedo, you'll follow that, even though he might be the devil himself.
Right. Like Farrakhan.
Yeah.
A lot of niggas was following Farrakhan because of that bow tie he wore, the eloquent speech he gave.
And Farrakhan, which we know that nigga's phony and set up, but sometimes you like him, because like the Lord do got him set up to kind of just fuck with Esau and fuck with people. Because the Farrakhan, I'll see shit online, he used to curse Esau out though, man. He would curse Esau. He would cut them crackers. So the Lord said, the Lord has used anybody, man. Even though Farrakhan's a puppet, phony ass motherfucker. We know that. I know it by no means. Do I say Farrakhan's a man of the Lord, but the Lord do use him to cut. I was watching an old video of Farrakhan on the Phil Donahue show, and he went on there a couple of times, and the Edomites, it was almost kind of like how it is with us, because the Edomites are all coming at him with the same stuff they coming at. But wait a minute, if that Farrakhan, he's a slick bastard. He was cutting them though, man. He was cutting them devils, man. Khalid Muhammad, which he learned under us. I did a video on that. They would, the Muslim niggas, they will cut Esau, man. Okay.
Is to get the truth.
Well, the so-called white man is easy. All you gotta do is speak truth. You speak any truth, then you're gonna cut him, because the so-called white man is about a lie. I got a scripture about it.
Read it.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, right? It says, "For behold, the Lord I'll take away from Jerusalem and from Judah," meaning from the whole nation of Israel, the staff, the whole stay of bread. In other words, our power structure. That's why we don't have no economics, no land. We don't have no motherland. All Jake is lost out here, right? The Lord did that. The whole stay of bread, right? And the whole stay of water. The mighty man. Where's our army at? You got so-called. Don't show me these few black militants doing some cadences that a defect from one of Esau's army is teaching them. Right? Or Black Panther. That's what it has. A Negro, a defect from the Navy or Marines, which I ain't knocking that, but then they start doing these drills. We had an army, man. All right, there was a true Israelite army, the King David. All right, the mighty men that was underneath of King David, man, and the captains. That was a real army for our people, man. Lord was with us. Nobody can stop us. The Lord made the people like butter, and we was like a sharp knife cutting through all the nations, man. That's how the Lord used us to establish our homeland, going back during the time of Moses, Joshua, Caleb, right? Warriors of Israel, man.
That's right.
The real armies, man. But the Lord took that away from us, man.
That's right.
Because of our wickedness, man.
That's right.
It says, the mighty man, the man of war, the judge.
Joab.
Yep. You had the 37 mighty men, King David.
Joab. Who Abiathar.
Benaniah. Yeah.
The Maccabees.
Samson.
The
Maccabees.
Yeah.
That's when Israel was mighty, but the Lord took that.
Mighty, yeah.
See you niggas, you militant so-called niggas, like this Sakari nigga talking about, he's nothing but a goddamn agent.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get you niggas set up, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
What weapon, what he got? He's down with the enemy. And we don't give a fuck about you, man. You can come back and try to do videos on us, exposing us. You already did that, man. You already played your card. Now you exposed.
Yeah.
There's other dudes outside there's other guys that nobody like him. Nobody like you, man. Because everybody know you're a phony.
They see through you, yeah. See through you.
Yeah. That's right. Especially when you got people that sow discord, man. That you want to be hated quick, sow discord, man. Especially amongst brethren. You become hated quick.
Yeah.
All right? It says the judge and the prophet, right? And the prudent, because amongst these Negroes, they don't got no leaders telling them. That's why they all out there like lost sheep, okay, marching. Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. Marching, going down to the precinct, protesting this cop shooting, and that ain't doing nothing. And the Most High ain't with that, man, right? But the Lord took that from you, man. And the prudent, and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable men. There's no honorable men amongst Jake no more, man. You see? It said, in the counselor, in the cunning artificer, in the eloquent orator. See? Because at one time, of course, look, when you go into the King's English, you got this devil talking about speaking proper English, which English is a bastard language anyway, right?
Bastard tongue.
It's a bastard tongue, right?
That nigga said years ago.
Right? But you got these devils talking about you can't speak, they talked about the way Jake speak, or they can't say
Ebonics.
Yeah, Ebonics.
So you niggas speaking
fragmented sentences and all this stuff. First of all, we created this English that you speak. Any language you want to name, from the Latin to the Greek or whatever, it all goes back to our people. We were the original royalty that you stole. All right. Now, one time with Israel did have eloquent speakers and everything. You still see it in our works of state.
Yeah.
All right, here's Farrakhan is a smooth talker, man.
And not just him, he trains all his men to be clones of him.
Yeah. Right, yep.
And outside of that madness, well, like I said, even this nigga, the new niggas in the Afrocentric community that, like you got, and then outside of that, you got Uncle Tom, Jake.
That's very articulate.
So-called talk, right?
And very articulate, polite,
articulate.
Yeshaya.
Going back to history to back you up. The ancient Greeks, like the main philosophers like Plato, Socrates, and all that, they were all Jakes, man. They were all our people, man.
That was us, man.
That was into the Greek. I mean, the
keep going.
They were our people that was into the Greek philosophy, man. They were into the Greek custom, the Greek way of life. But they were Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. What were they known as? The
Hellenists.
Hellenists,
yeah.
Like Timothy's father.
Yep.
And no, Timothy was not an Edomite.
That's right. That's right.
They said, oh, Timothy was a Greek.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't understand.
Niggas, man.
Because y'all don't understand, man.
Right? So it says, in the eloquent order, and check this out, and I will give children to be their princes, and I will give children and babies shall rule over them. And that's what you got going on right now. Right? Amongst Jacob. And check this out. This is deep, man. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. And we say it all the time, who gives us the most hell, man? Jake, niggas, man. Niggas are worse than the devil. You gotta worry about Jake more than you gotta worry about Esau, man. And that's the props. That proves that what the Lord said happens. That proves the scriptures to be what? The book of truth, man. The Holy Bible is the truth. This prophesied.
Isaiah 34:16.
Definitely grab that. And that proves that what? We're the Israelites. Because who else does that belong? Who else does that pertain to? You don't see too much Chinese on Chinese crime.
Nope.
All right. Okay. Now, although you probably got little crime families amongst them or whatever, but I'm talking about like how you got niggas walking around beefing with each other. Nigga look at each other. You looking at shoot the nigga for looking at them wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, nigga on other sides of the road, you thought the wrong gang sign, nigga pop your wig, you know? You don't got the other nations doing that. That's talking about Israel, man. Those are the curses that are on us, man.
Rob your own people for a pair of sneakers for a stupid
you run up into
your house.
Yeah.
Wicked drug dealer niggas, man. I mentioned that in the video I did Monday. Yeah. He lost him. We're going to get him. We're going to run up in this house. Get him. You wicked niggas. Then they run up in the house. Not only will they rob you and kill you, if you got a woman, they'll rape your woman and tie you up, kill you, execution style. You niggas are wicked. That's why the elder Ibad read Hosea 4:6. Because you do these things so you destroy for Ezekiel 9 for these scriptures. Because they're going to do away with it.
Check this out. It said, behave himself proudly against the ancient. So that's heavy. That's heavy. You always talk about that. These little niggas, man. These little young niggas ain't got no fucking respect.
They don't respect the OGs, so to speak.
Especially coming out of the scripture.
Because when we came up, man, even being in the world, you respected them. Like you was a little motherfucker.
You
10 years old, you seen the older dudes, the grown ass men, you respected them. And that goes to the truth. Because now you got this new upstart GMO baby niggas that call yourself Israelites, and you have no respect for the elders and the apostles. Like some of these niggas, they'll talk. Here with these little niggas, they never met a high priest Ariah.
Right.
Never met the man that's like I seen them in videos, I heard about him. But you got these little young minions coming up talking shit about how like Sakana, about high priest Ariah. Or King Shah. Or high priest Jaquar.
I don't have respect for nothing, man.
Nothing, man.
Yeah, no respect for nothing.
I wish I said, like, if you don't respect me, he said, respect the works that I do. Respect, have respect for the works that I do. Even if you don't believe in me as a person, this is basically what the Lord was saying. You respect the works that I do. He was healing, making the blind to see, the deaf to hear, the lame to walk. He raised the dead. All right. He said, even if you don't believe me, you don't believe me as a man looking at me. Just believe in the works that I do and the power that it comes from my heavenly Father.
Hold on, what was it? The one nigga said, you know, a bunch of old niggas sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Total disrespect.
Yeah.
No respect.
Yeah. The scripture say the servant is not greater than his Lord. So we understand we gotta go do it.
It's Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16, and it says, "Seek ye of the book of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and read. No one of these."
The book of the Lord is the Bible, man.
That's right.
The scriptures, the holy scriptures, man. Yeah. That's why when people come up and they try to come with their own bullshit, they was like, nah, we don't want to deal with that book. We just want to deal with, what do you think? What do you think? No, we think what the scriptures think. You know, we have the mind of the Heavenly Father, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, our thoughts, our mind frame is what the scriptures say.
That's right, man. We ain't gonna come outside the scriptures, man.
That's right. Once you go outside the scriptures, that's how them demons get you, man. That's how them demons get you. So, all you brothers out there, when you out on the highways and the byways, stay in the scriptures, man. Stay in the scriptures.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah. Because Pastor Ball did a video about how we call it not Israelite etiquette, but Israelite basics. I think he called it Israelite basics.
Yeah.
And that was one of the key things he brought up about being in the camp. You gotta make sure you stick to the scriptures, man. You know, don't come out.
I saw that video.
You saw that video, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was on point, man. You can't come out with your own philosophy, man.
Yeah.
This ain't the thing of introducing what type of wisdom and knowledge that you got. The Most High ain't dealing. He said, my thoughts are not your thoughts.
And my ways are higher than your ways. Let us stay of the Lord.
So,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So you gotta stick to the scriptures. Even if, like I said, you do videos, we all do it. Like I might be in my truck, I ain't got my scriptures actually with me. And you know, when I do a video, I'm in the house, I always got my whatever, I'm gonna move, but I'm quoting the scriptures.
That's right.
Yeah.
We ain't coming with our own shit. We quote. If I ain't got my Bible and Apocrypha with me, and I'm doing a video, but I'm quoting scriptures.
From the scriptures.
The word is in us. You know,
still see
the word is in us. Yes.
Right.
Sometimes you don't have a physical Bible, but the word is in it.
It was like that movie Book of Eli with things up.
Yes.
Right?
Perfect.
Like he had that's a bad movie. If none of y'all seen it.
Perfect example.
Perfect example. The scriptures was already in his spirit. And then he had actually lost the book, but it was in Braille. And then Esau, they shot him and they got the book, but it was in, that's a deep movie.
Yeah.
It was, he couldn't read it.
Yeah.
He couldn't read it, but the woman that Esau had, when she was an Israelite woman, she got it. She said, smile, he said, break it down.
She's like, I can't read it.
But then Denzel, they went to that fortress.
Yeah, in California.
And then he just started, and then the Edomite was writing down the scriptures, because the scriptures was in Israel.
He would just quote, he would just basically, like, it was in him. He would just read it.
It was in him.
And then he had the scribe write, and then they wrote.
And that's
Isaiah 34.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Isaiah 34.
Isaiah 34. And that's a throwback to the ancient world, because that's how it was. The prophets spoke. What's that scripture? They spoke because they were moved by the Holy Spirit. And they had scribes who were prophets too, writing down what they were saying, man. That's how we got the scriptures today. You understand?
Yeah.
You had something like
Oh, no, I think this brother was
finished.
Yeah, because the word scribe means to write. Like, that's where you get inscribe or inscribe. You know, it means to write. You know, you had the prophets. They saw visions. They saw, dreams. They had dreams. They saw visions, and the scribes would write what the prophets told them to write.
Yeah. And the angels came to him, man. Which the angels come to us now, but in a different level. And they will again. It's going to be, man, this thing's about to go down. The prophecies are about to go down. Right. Because today, and mainly in New York, they're on high alert because they supposedly, but we know it's bullshit. Because if they want Obama or Hillary Clinton dead, they be dead already. So basically, it's a false flag shit. It's the explosive devices they sent to Obama's office and Hillary Clinton's office. Because as we keep telling you, dummies, they setting y'all up.
Yeah, that fake act of terror. They call it act of terrorism.
Yeah.
The war on terror. That's the same thing like the war on drugs, man. They were creating. They were the ones still allowing bring the drugs in Just like with the terrorism, they're the ones behind setting up these terrorist acts, or false flags as they're called.
Yeah, false flag events, yep.
All right, I got scripture.
Okay, yep.
It's 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right. So basically, Satan, we ain't gonna get caught up into the trick bag. You got a lot of niggas right now. They scared. They trying to do things. Oh my God, they running. And out of all fucking places, you run into a stupid ass goddamn church, man. You run into a bunch of faggots. The Roman Catholic Church there, and they still in the fire. They still ain't stopped all the pedophilia and molesting of the boys. But you got niggas going back to the Roman Catholic Church. You got niggas going back to the Christianity.
7-day event.
Right? Like that's gonna help you out, man.
Yeah.
Okay? Ain't none of that gonna help you out, man. We at the end. The Lord is hell. I did the video earlier. The Lord struck that one child. I don't know if y'all seen it in Mass.
Yeah, I saw it.
Right? 150-year-old church.
Yeah.
The Lord struck it with lightning and burned it. Finito, gone. That church is gone, man. All right? Because the Most High is not dealing with those church organizations, man. The truth. Come, rock the Yahweh Shai, man. All right? We praise the Heavenly Father for that, man.
That's right.
That's his work, man.
Harlot houses, man.
That's right. Them fucking whole houses, man.
And we are going to continue to do so until the Lord destroys us.
That's right.
And a lot of our wicked ass people, man, y'all gonna taste the missiles, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Gonna die.
Go back to
read that again. That's that. Yeah, you gotta read that again, my brother. 2 Corinthians 2:11.
This 2 Corinthians 2:11 says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us."
Right, because Satan already got an advantage of 2/3 of our people, man. That's why they still ain't coming to the truth, ever learning, but not able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
That's right.
That's right.
Here's the prophet. You got, man, from the head apostles on down to the brothers in GMS. All right, and then you got other brothers that's pushing the word. Right, yeah. The word is going out, man, and yet they still can't find the truth. All right, that goes into what? Romans 11 and 7, Isaiah 26, right? You see what I'm saying? Here it is, because Satan, the Lord gave you over to Satan, so you're getting caught up by all these trick bags. Oh my God, it's so crazy. You got evil people out there. No shit, Sherlock. Guess who the evil people are? The same ones that you voted for. All right?
We've been telling you about.
We've been telling your ass.
Esau, mainly Esau.
Donald Trump is saying. Barack Obama saying.
Hillary Clinton said, y'all on this Obama tip. Or better yet, what I say, you on this Trump tip. Trump. Obama is the worst devil than Trump, man.
Yeah.
But that's why the brother read the other
George Soros.
For a second, go back to Hosea 4:6.
Yeah.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6.
So that's the point, man.
For my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
This is the Most High speaking, the great, the supreme Yahweh. That's him speaking. That's right. He said, my people are destroyed. That's why in Isaiah, the ox off his own and the ass is massive. But Israel is gone.
Yeah.
Y'all gone. So you destroyed, meaning y'all bugged out. That's why you niggas are gone. You have no wisdom or knowledge of who you are. Here it is with the Spirit of the Lord. The Lord got the men of the Lord out there telling y'all Israelites and what the deal is, but y'all just like, nah.
The shepherds are out there, but you got rebellious sheep. Yep. You got rebellious sheep out there. Here it is, the shepherds are telling you, sheep go this way, and you got rebellious, black sheep that's going the opposite direction,
Man. Go ahead, bro.
Yep. So it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
That's why you niggas are getting shot and killed. Like 2-3 years ago, when the cops was shooting niggas and Hispanics every day,
Black Lives
and Native Americans, all that bullshit, that's why. That's judgment of the Lord.
That's right. For your rebellion.
Judgment of the Lord, man. Because here it is, the Lord got his prophets out here teaching you, your Israelites, but y'all trying to find new ways to debunk that. Yeah. So you get what you get, man.
I got you.
I'm finished right here. So I will also reject thee. So the Lord rejected you 2/3 of you niggas, spicks and wetbacks, man, and Uncle Tomahawks. The Lord rejected you. He says, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Meaning you're not gonna come into this truth, man. You're not gonna be part of the elect or the 1/3. The elect and the 1/3, those are the priests of the Heavenly Father of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Those are those are chosen men that were gathered out of the refuse of this world.
Served, yep.
Yeah, like the scripture said, one out of 1,000. All right. So those were the hand-picked men of the Heavenly Father and His Son. You know, but you got 2/3 of Israel. You're not part of that number.
That's it. The hell with y'all, man. And you know what? We don't have a problem with that.
No, hell no. The Lord rejected, just like in the time of Egypt, right? When the nation of Israel was wandering in the desert for 40 years, man. The Lord let our people wander in the desert for 40 years until that wicked generation died off, man.
Yeah.
That's showing you. Yeah. That's showing you the characteristics of our power. Of
long suffering.
Yeah.
Long suffering.
He said He will not suffer you to enter into His rest.
Yep.
Which is the land of Israel.
And not to cut you off, my brother, but I understand clearly. I mean, even though we're 18 years after the year 2000, I understand clearly. Well, one, the Lord said He's a man that He shall not lie. So we know that prophecies had to be fulfilled. And two, you had a lot of wicked ass niggas that haven't even came into Israel yet.
Yeah.
That still had to come in for you.
A lot of you guys were still babies.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys, some of you guys wasn't even born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the scripture when it talks about, man, rebuke not an elder and treat him as a father.
Right.
The Apostle Paul went into all these issues, man.
That's right.
Because we're gonna have wicked niggas. That was that wicked generation.
Yeah.
And of course, once again, the reincarnation is actually because that was the wicked niggas coming back.
Coming back in the reincarnation. Everything's reincarnated.
Yeah.
You know. So, but all them niggas had to be born and come into the knowledge so they could get marked and fake. Because Yahushua said, "Had I not come, then they have a cloak for the sin." Now that I came, they have no cloak for sin.
No cloak for
so
sin.
now that all these wicked niggas in the past, you say recently, the past 10, 12 years, and they go back 20 years, they go back 30 years, but like from the year 2000 on, you see why there's still a bunch of wicked niggas that had to hatch, okay, and come into the truth and fall out and be wicked and get judged. All right, so we understand because it's going back like the elder was going into the wilderness during the time of Moses. We're in the wilderness right now.
That's right.
We about to be delivered, but the Lord got us. It's almost as if we're going in circles, so to speak.
That's right.
Right? But that's the Most High doing that shake. He said He's going to sift, right?
Sift the house.
Right? Angels, right? So that's the Lord shaking all the wicked amongst us.
All the phony niggas.
All the phony niggas.
And even you guys that claim you in the truth.
Yeah.
That claim you in GMS or whatever group you in.
Yeah.
And you wicked as all, you really ain't about the truth. You might be a sellout.
Yeah.
You might have already been set up
agent
by Esau to be an agent provocateur. Extreme discord among brother and Proverbs tells you that. He that 6 things doeth the Lord hate, 7 on the abomination. And that's one of the things. Niggas that want to set up discord
among brethren.
Yeah. Scripture. So Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
Yeah, break it down, brother.
Hey, and the elders, and the apostles and elders teach, you know what I'm saying, and the Akim out there, and you hear the word, you know what I'm saying, and you put it off, man, and you don't listen, you don't hearken, you don't care, you know what I'm saying, you show, hey, Most High, you know what I'm saying, He's extending mercy to you, you know what I'm saying, through the prophets, you know, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and brothers is hearing this word, and they do not consider, they don't care for it. They rather watch basketball, they rather play video games, rather be under their woman, you know what I'm saying, you know, instead of hearkening to these words.
And the ox and the ass, they're two stubborn ass animals.
That's right.
An ox is a stubborn animal. You try to get them to go this way, you want to go that way. An ass is the same way. So the Lord is comparing our people, you know, 2/3 of our people to oxes and asses, man.
Yeah.
That no matter, here it is, you got the dude that's controlling the reins. He's trying to get you to go the right way, but no matter how much they try to get you to go that way, they fighting twice as hard to go the wrong way.
They're stubborn.
Stubborn, man.
Yeah.
Stiff neck, man.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go into more further down. So read that again from the top.
This is Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3, and it says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, But Israel does not know.
Israel don't know who their heavenly father, who their master is. They don't know who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is, man. They don't know that he's a black man. You know, his son is a black man. They don't know their characteristics. They don't know what they like, what they don't like. They don't know nothing about him. They don't know their master. Go ahead.
It also says, my people does not consider.
Here it is. The Lord has his prophets, his messengers and teachers out here, and these people, even though we showing them out of the Bible, and they don't even consider that what we showing them is true.
That's right, man.
They don't even consider it. You know, they just cast it behind them. You know, get you out of the way. Oh, I got that in Isaiah too.
And that's where
get you out of the way.
The main scripture, the scriptures that we talk about, man, come into play. All these different scriptures, they all kind of interlink. Yes, interlink with each other. Proverbs, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Amos. You know, that you niggas gotta go, because all you gotta do is smart remarks to make, and we sacrificing. Man, we up here late at night doing this video. Yeah, we tired. We tired. We haven't eaten.
We work.
Fuck it. I'll say it. That we in my home, and my woman is downstairs preparing food for brothers to eat. But we said, fuck it, let's do the video first. Okay, brothers got to get up and go to work tomorrow. So the sacrifice, when we sacrificing to do this work. Brothers didn't work today, tired and hungry. But we said we're gonna put the work of the Lord first, and then we'll eat late after. Because it's about the word, man. It's about pushing the word.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man.
And then the scripture talk about the sacrifice. Scripture talk about that, man. Present your bodies as a living sacrifice. Scriptures talk about that, man.
And the Lord got us turned up, man.
We've been
in the spirit, we've been. So this ain't really nothing new to us, man. You know, we're grateful, and we thank Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to keep his spirit on us, because like the scriptures tell you, was in Philippians, it's the Most High who making us to do his will, his good will, not quoting it verbatim.
Man's goals are of the Lord.
Right? So we thank the Lord for these things, because you know, hey, ain't nothing. It's nothing greater than the truth. It's the highest level to be in, man. So you know, it's nothing, man. We thank the Lord for allowing us, man.
That's right, man.
You know, this is a thing. You know, we fellowshipping, brother. Which, hey, if I may say this too, you know, you brothers should get in the spirit of, you know, making sure you're concerned about your brother. All right? All that, you know, island, just worrying about yourself, that's bullshit, man. And really, that's a nigga spirit, man.
It is a nigga spirit.
That's a nigga spirit. You're just worried about yourself.
That's right.
You know? Nah, look, check on your brother. Hey,
all we got is the body. We are a body of Yahweh. So we got to come together as one. You got to, like the Elder Manazar was saying, man. That's right. You got to, hey, man, call him, bro. You want to hear from my brother? Call him.
Hit him up. That's scripture. The scripture said, know the state of thy flock. All right? So,
forsake not the assembly.
Forsake not the assembly. So, if y'all, we brothers, we got to make sure, you know, you don't hear from a brother in a while. Don't just
keeper.
Be your brother's keeper, man. Because you know, when the Lord come and ask you, what about your brother? I don't know. He knew what he was supposed to be doing. You know, Yahushua ain't gonna take to that too kindly, man. You know, a brother, say a brother's in a jail or in the hospital. Visit the brother in the hospital if you're able to. I mean, I ain't saying, you know, of course the scripture say be not over righteous, right? But hey, the spirit, you know, there's on certain brothers. The brother might be close to you. It is. How could if some misfortune come out any of you brothers, and I'm not checking for you, man? I don't feel like shit.
When I was trying to talk about that, when I was sick, you visited me. When I was thirsty, you fed me. When I was hungry, you fed me.
When did I do?
Whenever you did it unto any of these, my little ones, the least of my brothers. So that's why the man, brothers got to show all that. The hell with being a tyrant and all that. Look, man, brotherhood comes first and foremost.
Yeah, man.
Brotherhood comes first and foremost.
That's the real spirit of Yahweh.
That is the real spirit.
You got to fight.
The true spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
That's the true spirit.
There's order. Order's needed. You got to have an order.
Oh, absolutely.
But brotherhood, man, comes first, and balance.
Absolutely, man. And you got to fight. You got to fight, because that nigga spirit could jump on all of us. You know, like, fuck, man. I'm just worrying about my. That ain't the spirit to be in, man.
No, it's not.
All right? you got to rebuke that spirit. That spirit, that's Satan. You know what I'm saying? That's Satan. Because Satan wants to break that foundation, man. You got to remember, we're all a body, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're all a body. So we're a body.
They want to break that.
How you gonna say? How you gonna say fuck your hand?
Yeah.
No. Or fuck your leg.
Fuck your foot.
You need it to move and function, to operate.
Yeah.
All right. So that's just that on that, man.
Comes.
You know.
Exactly, man. Was there any other points anybody wanted to make?
Yeah. Continuing in Isaiah chapter 1, jumping down to verse 4 now, or continuing in verse 4, it says, sinful nation.
Yeah,
you got it right.
Yeah, the Lord said,
You
know when you go like you're so fed up, you're like,
yeah, you got it right.
Good.
Sinful nation, man.
That's where it comes from.
That's what we think about. We think about 2/3 of you niggas, spicks, or wetback. You know, you wicked ass Israelites.
Yeah, you wicked evil niggas, man.
We're like, when's the Lord gonna destroy these?
When is it? How gonna destroy you niggas? And that's why we go hardcore for this truth.
Yeah.
Like elders, we amped up. We're turned up, man.
Yeah, man.
Sinful nation, man.
A people laden with iniquity.
A people laden, you know what it means to be laden? It means you got sin upon sin upon sin upon sin upon sin.
You covered, man.
You just layered. You got different layers of sin on you, man. Laden with iniquity, man.
Yeah, and like a frost in a cake. It's like you just more on.
Yeah.
Thick frost. A thick frost.
Of wickedness.
Frosted wicked coating of wickedness.
That's true.
Okay.
And that's why the Lord's gonna leave a lot of you niggas out. A lot of y'all gonna be fucked up out there, man. You know, in these days that we in, a lot of y'all gonna be. And when I mean fucked up, a lot of y'all gonna be fucked up to the point you ain't gonna believe that when you call on Jesus, ain't nobody there to answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Jesus.
A lot of y'all sat there and spent all this time with the church and all that other stuff, going to church, and you know, some of y'all paid off, kind of gave your life savings, and it's not going to profit you in the day of your judgment, when your calamity come upon you. All right, when the Most High start moving upon you, and then what you're going to think about, you're going to remember the Israelites, us. You're going to remember us. You're going to say, oh shit, you know.
And it's like when the Lord was on the scene, right? You know. But after the Lord was crucified, you know, and you know they said, you know, the veil of the temple rent, and all of that. Then people was like, yo, this truly was the man of the Lord. So it's gonna be the same way with his prophets. Like it's gonna be a certain events that happen, and then it's gonna the scriptures say, then it shall be known who are my children.
Right. That's heavy. That's heavy. And I quoted it earlier today in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 16.
And you notice when we reading certain scriptures, we just quote. We get into a point where the scriptures are endless, man.
It's heavy.
The scriptures are endless, man. So we just quoting the scriptures.
Because the Lord said, "My servants shall eat."
Right.
So the Lord, that's when they're gonna know. When the shit hit the fan. That's why look, brothers, we catching our hell. Like the scriptures say, we said Corinthians 10:32. For we condemn now, so we won't be judged with the world. Right. So we taking our bumps and our bruises, singing, doing all kind of whatever shit, right? But we ain't doing it.
Right.
We ain't doing it because when the shit hit the fan, all right, when they see us, and the Lord is gonna have the Spirit. They're gonna see His Spirit on us, just like with Moses, they couldn't look him in the face because the Spirit of the Lord is pure. And when the Lord's Spirit is on us, our faith is getting stronger. All right, although we got a small faith, it's getting growing every day, man. As a mustard seed, man.
That's right.
All right, I'm talking about on a whole. Some brothers got more faith than others, obviously.
That's right.
Right, but as a whole, and they're gonna see that Spirit, man, and they're gonna know without a shadow of a doubt. They're like, damn, man, them dudes, the Lord gotta be with them. Here it is, you got people getting their heads blown off. You got people dropping dead, and they over there with smiles on their face. They up there praising the Heavenly Father.
That's Proverbs 1:22.
Yeah.
On down.
That's right.
Proverbs, the first chapter.
Yeah.
You niggas are gonna get it. Yeah. Especially you goddamn nigga. And I'm gonna say something, man. You women, you nigga, the nigga woman. Fuck that. We're gonna go back to the old mantra, so to speak. You so-called black woman. The so-called black woman is a main conduit for Satan. The black woman is totally gone, totally off. All women, but the black woman in particular.
Yeah,
and she's Eve.
And that Latino bitch too, man.
Yeah,
they've been rolling in the same.
Well, they've been coached.
Yeah.
They've been coached by the nigga woman.
Yeah.
They've been coached by the nigger woman.
That Indian bitch, the Native American Indian hoes, man.
Yeah.
They beside themselves too. They
women
proud
of the
too.
tribe, oh hell yeah.
They proud too.
All the women of the tribes have been coached by the nigger woman, so they all got that same demonic spirit of the nigger woman on them.
But the nigger woman is coached by Esau.
That's Esau's lieutenant.
Yeah.
That's Esau's lieutenant.
Yep.
Okay. I remember watching the movie Roots, the original one with LeVar Burton and all these guys.
Yeah.
And they had Kunta Kinte when he got kidnapped from Africa, so to speak, to come to America in slavery. His woman got kidnapped with him, and then when they got to the hair, they got separated into different plantations.
Right.
You gotta go. You can go to watch it.
Yeah, they separated.
And then later on, when he escaped, he went to go look for his woman.
Yeah.
She was happy to see him. They went in the barn and he popped her and everything. And then he said, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah.
She's like, "No, no." Yeah.
Yeah, because Esau had her.
So go back to slavery. Let me go back to slavery.
Had her up here though.
Yeah.
Esau got him up there.
Kunta still had her body.
In their mind.
But Esau had the mind.
Esau had her spirit.
So you can have your woman's body, but the white man got their mind.
Got her mind.
Yeah.
Which means he control her body because anytime he want, he can make it bug out on you. And,
because during slavery, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's some serious traumatic
kick you to the curb, man.
That's some serious traumatic shit.
Yeah.
Which everything goes back to this devil, the so-called white man, Esau, man.
They gotta pay, man.
You devils are gonna pay.
Yep.
That's okay. Revelations 13, 9, and 10.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
The only thing we ain't gonna do, which we don't desire to do that. We ain't gonna be able to, we ain't even gonna make faggots out of y'all. Esau, let me tell you what, they talking about the women getting popped on slavery. Well, there was a video, man. Esau was really popping a lot of the men too.
Yeah,
they call it buck breaking. It's a
really is butt breaking.
Well, buck. No,
you call it strong butt breaking.
They used to call it strong slaves bucks.
I saw something online,
and they said they were buck breaking.
Well, it really is butt breaking.
Yeah, well,
for real.
No, because Esau is such a fucking faggot, man. You know who else was notorious for doing that too? Christopher Columbus.
He was raping the Native American men.
You know, but he
still they were raping the men.
They were raping the men. Yep, that's true.
Boys.
Yeah. Well, they're doing the same shit now, man.
Yeah.
What you think's happening over there in Bangladesh or you know,
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Why you think the Lord be hitting with super tsunamis, man? Taking out thousands of them in a clip, man. Hundreds and thousands of them in the clips, man. Because why? You got man over there is random freaking orgies, and you got all these same senators, these same devils, these faggots that be up there doing the hijinks up there in Sonoma, California, and they be going out there taking trips to Sri Lanka, right? Out there in Dubai, all them places, man, with them little boys. Okay, and then they snatch up other little boys. They might pass them around from the Roman Catholic Church. Man, look, America's all about pedophilia, man. All right, at the end of the day, and you can look that up, man. All right, you can Google it. God damn it,
Pizzagate.
Okay.
What the fuck was Pizzagate about, man?
That's all the
Pizzagate. Here is the fucking evidence that fucking came out on these devils, man.
But that's okay.
Yeah, pizza.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna say it.
You got cut too?
Yours got cut too?
Yep.
Yeah, because that's the truth, man. And Esau's trying to stop this shit, man.
Yeah, they cut my. They cut. Then all of a sudden my shit cut.
Yeah.
It's too late, man, because the truth is already out there, man. You motherfucking so-called elite, you can't do shit about it.
Hey, man, they can't handle it, man. And that's why we know that they want to come for us, and they, you know, as brothers, you know, we know that y'all, hopefully the brothers at least, been taking heed to the apostles and the rest of us brothers, warning you brothers of these things that are coming, man. They're going to try to demonize us. They're going to try to set us up.
Roll what I got.
Yeah, roll on, brothers.
Yeah.
So be ready, be faithful.
Right,
the scriptures say be faithful. There's certain brothers going through persecution right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And who's that? Revelations 2 and 10.
2 and 10. Yeah.
Right.
Some of
I we'll probably end it with this one scripture. Baba Shah. All right. Hey, brothers, trust in the Lord, man. Trust in Yahweh Shah. Yeah. At the end of the day, man, trust in the Lord, man. All right, because He's gonna hold us down.
That's right.
He's gonna deliver you out of whatever situation you get into, man. You got it?
Revelation.
Word of the Lord, man.
That's right, man.
Revelation 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
That's why Yahweh Shai said that. Fear none of those things. Because why? We all gonna suffer. I mean, we suffering now, but that's the Lord. The Lord been hardening us, man. So when the real shit hit the fan, we gonna stand right through it, man. Like the Lord said, He gonna bring the third part through the fire. We gonna walk right through that persecution, man.
That's
all right. I mean,
man.
we in the flesh, right? But at the end of the day, the Lord strengthened us, man.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta trust in the Lord. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Go ahead.
Behold, the devil,
the same one that's controlled the prince of the power of the air, right? Who controls the airwaves right now? Job 9:24.
The earth is
given into the hand of the wicked.
That old devil.
That old devil.
The same one from John 8:44, which Yahweh Shai was getting on, and he was talking about. So we got to keep that in perspective. He was talking about niggas, but it was referring back to Esau.
Yeah.
But Esau is the devil.
He said they had the same spirit.
They had the spirit of the white man, so-called
white man. Yeah. Yeah, because they were trying to keep up his kingdom, which was the Roman Empire at that time. You know, the Roman Empire. You had. It's just like right here now in America. You got Uncle Tom 2/3 niggas that want to uphold the American society and shit, right?
Yep.
They want to uphold the American way of life and shit.
Yeah.
It was the same thing back in the ancient world. You had 2/3 niggas that wanted to uphold the Roman world, the Roman kingdom, empire. All right.
That's right.
And they just wanted to keep their place. It said that if we speak out against them, the Romans will come and take away our name and our place.
Yeah, because they didn't want to. They
didn't want to
sold
lose their
out.
positions.
They sold out.
Yeah, they didn't want to lose their position. They sold out.
That's right.
So it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison."
Right. So Esau plans on trying to roll up on brothers, trumping charges up against brothers and saying all type of shit. Terrorizing. We already know it, man.
Yeah.
All right, we already know it, but the scriptures say trust in the Lord. See, unlike you had that fat black bastard, the discomforter. All right, the Lord ain't dealing with that nigga. That's why he done faded away, man.
That's a given.
All right, and he's put on blast. Everybody know, everybody coming out exposing him except for them fucking stupid ass zombies. All right, fucking zombies. Maybe they paid niggas, so they just paid to just be goons or something. But the Most High exposed them, and he ain't finished with them, man. All right, but see, we're prepared through the Spirit of the Lord, and brothers just trust in the Lord. All right, so I cut it there, man. I ain't gonna. Okay, yeah, you
I just upload that. Like I said, to let you brother, my thing is, I guess the time expired. They only give you so much time, but it was heavy. The feed cut and then my shit cut
at the same time.
It's the spiritual thing.
When we was getting out them fucking them pedophiles and brothers going in the pizza drink and all that.
But we're gonna go ahead and still do what we gotta do.
Yeah,
that's all right, man. So it says, "Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison."
And that's happened. You know what? That's happened to some of us already, and it's gonna happen. Like when Esau implemented this martial law, maybe certain brothers might get thrown into a concentration camp.
Yeah.
But I had dreams on this. We might have, the Lord gonna deliver us, man.
The Lord's gonna deliver us.
Some of us, yeah.
Well, not everybody.
But some of us might be martyrs too.
Well, the elect, yeah.
You know?
The elect.
Hey, but just like the scriptures say, stay faithful unto death.
Stay faithful unto death.
Yeah, and ye shall receive the crown of life.
And you know what? Like this ain't like 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like if Esau, beheaded you or whatever the case back then, he got away with it for a little. It seemed like he got away with it. We at the end. All right, it ain't no more 1620 going back into slavery. No more of these devils coming over. No, this is it. So
no, this is it, man.
If Esau was to put us on to death, guess what? What's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thursday, we're going to be right back on his ass.
That's right.
With the Spirit of the Lord, so to speak.
It's their time to go down.
Yeah. It's their time, man.
The scriptures say, be of good cheer.
Be of good cheer, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. What's that? Job 14:5. Because the Most High say he have determined the bounds where he cannot pass.
No way to pass.
That's right.
He set the bounds where he cannot pass.
Right.
Esau has a certain time to rule, and then boom, the Most High gonna take him out. Because ultimately, all of Esau is gonna be destroyed.
That's right.
After they served slavery, man.
1,000 years of slavery. Yeah.
And they know it. That's why they're going so hardcore to push these demons. This misinformation out here, man.
That's how Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, And
all you wicked niggas and black conscience, all you paid off, sold off niggas, that's being paid by Esau to purposely push misinformation out here, man. Y'all gonna die a horrible death.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, anybody got anything else?
That was okay.
We'll finish this out and then we'll wrap it up on that.
The devil shall cast some of you into prison that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. So that's just talking about a period of time that we're gonna suffer. The elect will suffer tribulation. God, endure tribulation. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. That's the point I wanted to make.
Right. Yeah,
be thou faithful unto death, and the Lord Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai will give the elect a crown of life.
That's the deliverance, man.
Yeah.
So
that's right, into the kingdom.
That's the deliverance.
So you stay faithful unto the end, and you finish the course. Just like our Lord Yahweh Shai.
That's right. So with that, man, we're gonna just wrap it up real quick. Say shalom to you, sincere brothers of the elect.
Shalom.
I only say shalom to the elect.
The elect, that's right.
Hopeful elect.
All right,
about the elect.
Our Barat's video was edifying.
Yeah. Shalom.
Shalom.
You got the X, my brother.
Damn, brother, is still.
Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. This is the brother Tazamah just coming with a quick lesson. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up raw. This is from thedailymail.com. And this was actually, let's see if I can find the date. This is actually published October 23rd, which is the 24th as we see today. But as you see from the title, thousands of Swedes are getting microchip IDs inserted into their hands to swipe into homes, offices, concerts, and even to access social media, which is just giving you more and more proof that the mark of the beast RFID technology is the mark of the beast written about in Revelations, the 13th chapter. All right, it says more than 4,000 Swedish people have a tiny microchip embedded in their hand. An implant lets them enter buildings, access concerts, and share via social media. It says the procedure costs about $180, which is about 140 pounds, and the chip is the size of a grain of rice. Several companies in Sweden offer the service to their employees for free, you see? And this is, like I said, this was published on the 23rd, which was yesterday, man. All right, so for all you guys that, that's been claiming that the mark of the beast is a hoax and that it's not the RFID microchip, then what is this? What is going on? What's going on out there in Sweden, man? You see what I'm saying? So we're just gonna read a little bit of this article. It says more than 4,000 Swedes are being implanted with a microchip that contains details about their identity. The miniature technology bypasses the need for cash, tickets, access cards, and even social media. All right, and we all know the scripture by heart, but the scripture says, "For no man shall either buy nor small nor great, rich and poor, free and bond. They shall receive a mark in their right hand or in the forehead, which pretty much they can't buy or sell unless they have this mark." You see what I'm saying? And it tells you here it bypasses the need for cash, which you need cash in order to make a transaction. All right, you need cash in order to buy things and to sell things. All right, tickets. You see, you need a ticket to get on a plane, you need a ticket to get on a bus. You see, let's see, access cards and even social media. Nowadays, for you to get into your job, you need an access card. All right, you need a card that's gonna buzz you in. All right, into the job. You see what I'm saying? And these things are needed in this technology, in this day and age that we have. All right, and then you see how it's being made more evident, and it's made more manifest day by day. All right, it says Biohacks International is the market leader in the innovative industry and has captured public imagination since it was started 5 years ago by Johan Osterlund, a former professional body piercer. Let's go down a little more. It says, let's see, scroll down for video. Some people argue the conveniences gained from the procedure by so-called body hackers do not outweigh the risk to their private data. All right, and hey man, this is gonna be made mandatory whether people like it or not because it's written. All right, and you have this whole thing going on with the caravan of Hondurans, all right, that are coming from South America to North America, to the Americas, man. And what did Donald J. Trump say? All right, Donald J. Trump said before he was a president that he wanted a visa biometric entry exit system in place for people to freely come through and freely leave unless they have this so-called biometric screening, which could be in the form of the microchip, man. You see? Let's go down a little bit more. Let's see. I want to scroll down just a little bit. How do microchips implanted under human skin work? Alright, it says several Swedish firms are implanting their employees with microchips under their skin, which can be used to replace keys, credit cards, and train tickets. The small implants use near-field communication NFC technology, the same as in contactless credit cards and mobile payments, and that's the reason why you have certain smartphones, all right, that you can pretty much tap your smartphone on the terminal. It'll pay for your device. It'll pay for what you want if your credit card information is already in the phone. All right, that's near field communication. All right, that's why they have these new chip cards out now, and they have these chip terminals out that move super slow on purpose. All right, for it to be an inconvenience for people, so that they can usher in something that's more convenient for them in time. That's why they have Amazon Go, whereas you can pretty much walk into a store, an Amazon store, all right, and then you can grab the items that you need and just walk out without even going to a cash register, and it'll automatically charge into your account. All right. It says when activated by a reader a few inches away, a small amount of data flows between the two devices via electromagnetic waves. All right. It says the implants are passive, meaning they contain information that other devices can read, but cannot read information themselves. All right. Let's go down a little bit more and see what else they have here. Let's see. And you see they got the images, and these people, man, these people are getting the chip, man, and it's made more evident every day. Why did a Swedish firm inject its employees with microchips? Swedish firm Epicenter hit the headlines in April for offering RFID implants to its employees. You see, now you need the chip in order to work, man. You see what I'm saying? You gotta have the chip in order to work. You got to be able to have the chip in order to come into the door. You got to have a chip in order to log on to your computer. You're going to need the chip for all these things, man. And Esau is going to make it to where it's mandatory, man. You see, you're going to start seeing certain celebrities already have the RFID microchip, but it's going to be made more manifest, and it's going to be made more public. You see what I'm saying? Let's see here. See if we can get anything else out of this article. I think that's an advertisement. Yeah, it's an advertisement. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I remember this video. We'll actually see if we'll play it real quick here. Let's see.
Let's ensure that we rewrite our immigration laws in our own image. Here's Beto's image for immigration.
Slakyaki, man. Yeah, this website acts up sometimes. But you know, we pretty much we pretty much got the point, you know what I mean, of what's going on here, man. This is the mark of the beast, as it is written in in the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter. All right, and it's no longer a rumor. All right, this stuff is actually happening and is becoming manifest more and more each day. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." You see, these visions and the things that was written thousands of years ago for our understanding today are being made evident and manifest in these last days. That's why the scripture says, "But at the end it shall speak and not lie." You see, people thought that the RFID technology was just a game. People thought that the RFID microchip was just a game, and people was joking around and, "Oh, it's June, ain't no microchips. I'll put a microchip in my dog." But people are actually getting this, man. You see? And we're reading an article about it, man. It says, it says, "Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come, it will not tarry." You see? And it's not tarrying no more, man. These visions are happening. These visions are making themselves manifest through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. And you see it, man. This is thousands of Swedes are getting microchipped, man. Not just 10 of them. You see, not just a couple of them. No, man. Sweden is now the most microchipped nation on the planet Earth, man. Let's see if this will play. Let's just try this one. The man with this man is first person in Britain to have. Let's see. Yeah, now I don't even want to play.
Nasty towels?
Yeah, it's not even really playing all like that, man. It's moving slow.
Use OxyClean with odor blasters. Must be gone.
My name is Steve Northam. I'm the director of Biotech Limited. We've developed a human implantable microchip. It uses similar technology to credit cards, passports, card entry systems, buildings. We've just shrunk it down, put it into a microchip inside a glass tube, which you can insert into your hand. And this allows you to open doors, potentially contactless payments, and hold a variety of data,
start your car with
basic
it,
medical data, and so forth.
Open doors.
So the chip, when it's in your hand, you can't actually feel it at all under your skin, not noticed it. Heals within a couple of months, you get a very small scar left, and it's really made life a lot easier as I wander around the building,
You see?
get into the house, start the car, and so forth.
You see how he said it makes life a lot easier? And that's how Esau's that's how he's gonna promote it. He's gonna promote it as if it's convenient. You know, he's gonna put it out there like it's something that you just need to do, and it'll just make life easier. Why, instead of reaching in your pocket and getting your key card, why not just wave your hand, and then the door will open up automatically by itself? You know, instead of having your credit cards, and you can have the risk of identity theft and your card falling out your pocket, why not put everything onto this microchip, and you can have all your information in you? You see? But that's how Esau is going to deceive the masses and get everybody to get this chip. You see, ultimately he's going to do something, whereas it's going to make it mandatory. Whereas if you don't get this chip, man, you ain't going to eat. And when you can't eat, people go to desperate measures. You see what I'm saying? But I just want to do a quick lesson in regarding to that. This is from, like I said, the Daily Mail, thedailymail.com. As we see it, the title itself Thousands of Swedes are getting microchip IDs inserted into their hands to swipe into homes, and this was dated yesterday. You know. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and taught us his truth. And much peace, love, and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom. Apostle Hart coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. And I'm going to entitle this World War III, More News. Anyway, this is an article. What I'll do is I'll put, well, it was put up by, give me a second, let me give you the information. Yeah, Express. This news company magazine out of the UK. Anyway, it says World War III warning. U.S.-Russia row gives green light to development of new weapons. Donald Trump's threat to withdraw from the immediate range nuclear force treaty could give the green light to many countries around the world to produce new nuclear missiles, warned international relations expert Remy Payet. And this was put up yesterday, October 24th, 2018, year of prophecy. I'm not going to read the rest of it. You know what? Let me just read some more. I'm sorry. Speaking for French 24, the director of America's market intelligence warned Donald Trump's threat to Russia to withdraw from the Cold War nuclear treaty will endorse the development of new missiles around the world. Mr. Payet claimed it would also give way to the advanced development of nuclear weapons in China, sparking fears of World War III. Or does it say in Matthew 24, wars and rumors of wars? So World War III is a rumor of war. It said, he said, this will give a green light to the weapon industry in the U.S. or Russia to up their development of new missiles. And also, it will be an answer to Chinese development today. Read a little bit more. Clearly, it is opening up to an additional and faster weapons race, the weapons race, hashtag weapons race, across the world, and meaning in an oikomany sense, the whole planet, and who is going to suffer for it, depending on the well, Babylon the Great is going to suffer. They're going to be suffer. They're going to be totally destroyed, depending on the different operation. It is Yemen or different countries where those missiles are being used and sold by the U.S. or sold by other countries. So we're moving away from multilateral positions of reductions of weapons. Now this DJ Trump had this meeting with the leader of North Korea about not building any more missiles and not using them in tests. And here this guy going around breaking this treaty with Russia to build more missiles. So you have the Most High put this man in place. It says weapons globally, and instead we're a realistic world of countries arming and developing more and more weapons at the expense of civilians worldwide. That's all I'm going to read. You can read the article yourself. I'm going to go right into the scriptures. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I want to go right to Joel 3. Joel 3 verse 9. I'm going to start at 9. Now, these missiles will make these third world nations equal to the two world powers, or the three. What I mean by that is the United States, Russia, and China. It says so DJ Trump is playing a major role. You know, I said in the past that DJ Trump would lead the U.S. into the war of Armageddon. Well, DJ Trump is going to lead the whole planet into the war of Armageddon. He's the centerpiece of this thing. And I'll be surprised. I'll be shocked if he was impeached or he was no longer president and somebody else, you know, came in his stead. But I don't see that happening. But we'll see. Time will tell. You know, is this the man that made the world a tremble? That did shake kingdoms. He's going to be the kingdom shaker. And we'll see. Anyway, Joel 3 verse 9. It said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks. Plowshares and pruning hooks are tools of farming, agriculture. So the monies that they would use by way of collecting taxes from the people for agriculture and to help the people, they're putting it into these missiles. And the sword, modern day sword, is the missile, the ICBM missile. It says, and your pruning hooks into spears, also missiles. A modern spear is a missile, ICBM missile. You know, you can take a spear and throw it. You had some guys that would throw it as far as a mile or more or less. Well, the modern day spear would be an ICBM missile, or intercontinental ballistic missile. That's a spear. It said, let the weak say, I am strong. And the weak are these third world countries that are becoming equal to the U.S., Russia, because they have a say in this whole weapons buildup scenario. It says in 11 verse, assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen nations, and gather yourself together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Those are the angels. You say that the scriptures say in Revelation, what is that? Revelation 16, I believe. As a matter of fact, I went through it the other day. Let me just bring it up. I just want to get it right. Let me see, loose. I'm sorry. Let me it's either Revelation let's try 16. Yeah, well, one is Revelation 16 verse 12. Okay, it says, that's not the one I want, but I'm going to read it. It's a good one. It says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Let me deal with the word Euphrates. Okay, Revelation 9. Revelation, I went through this the other day. Revelation 9. Revelation 9 verse 13 and 14. And the sixth angel sounded, and we just read about the sixth angel in Revelation the 16th chapter. And I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before the Most High, saying, 14 verse, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men, and the number of the army of the horsemen, which are the missiles, 200 million, 200,000, and I heard the number of them. You know, you have Israelites groups teaching that those are actual angels. They're not angels, they're missiles. They're the most high, they're one of the most highest hosts. The missiles are one of the most highest hosts. So let's go back to Joel 3 verse 10 again. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourself together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Those are the angels. And like I said, we just read two scriptures in Revelation 9 and Revelation 16 concerning these angels, because they're going to make things happen. They're going to be the referees, so to speak. It says, 12 verse, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And the word Jehoshaphat means is Yahweh Shaphat, meaning Yahweh's judgment, Yahweh's decision. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, and I went through that in Revelation the 14th chapter, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. Revelation 14, Isaiah 63. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So he's going to gather them together in the Middle East. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, because those missiles are going to block out the sun and the moon. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion, because he's going to be within the missiles. That's in Ezekiel the 39th chapter. And utter his voice. It also says in Hebrews that he is a consuming fire. So that fire, the Most High is going to be in the midst of that fire. For Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. Now, what's the only thing that can make the heavens and the earth shake? Are these missiles, these ICBM missiles, when they hit ground zero. It says in Isaiah 14, it speaks about the besom of destruction. And that's basically like a broom. It's going to be a hot wind. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people. Who is his people? The Israelites. And the strength of the children of Israel. So it gave you the answer. If you're saying who's his people, we'll read the next line down. It says, and the strength of the children of Israel. And this Joel, the 3rd chapter, hasn't taken place yet. It says, so shall ye know that I am Yahweh, your power, your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy. This is the kingdom, when the kingdom is established. And there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Who are the strangers? Now, vocab says the strangers are the actual strangers. Well, in this verse right here, it's talking about the other nations. So ain't no strangers going to come into the gates. It says the 18th verse, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers. So it's going to be like Eden again, which Eden is a Hebrew word, from the Hebrew word Aidan, which means joy or paradise. So this planet is going to be a paradise again. Rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of Yahweh, and shall water the valley of Shittim. It says 19th verse, Egypt shall be a desolation, and the modern Egypt is America, because the missiles are going to utterly destroy this land. And Edom, there goes Edom again, the Edomites shall be a desolate wilderness, because America is really known that they should change the name to the land of Edom, because this is Edom, because Edom controls this place. At one time this was Canaan, but now this is the land of Edom. Sodom, Edom, Egypt, spiritually called Edom. For the violence against the children. Why is Edom going to be a desolation? For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem. What does it say? It says, but Judah, meaning the tribe of Judah, shall dwell forever. So we're never going. Once this kingdom is established, it's not going to be. Ain't no Edomites going to rise up and take the land back again. And why is that? Because we're going to have spiritual power. We'll be able to read their minds. And Jerusalem, from generation to generation. And there's this commercial that keeps popping up. I think it's a Geico commercial where you got this one Edomite. He's sitting on a couch, lounge chair, and he's got a bunch of Edomites working for him, but he's using he hypnotized them. His one Edomite has a big jar of a lemonade or whatever, and he's pouring the lemonade for the other Edomite, and you can see this guy has like a sinister smile on his face, and then the Edomite just stands there with the jar, and then another Edomite comes up, and he says, "I want you to do something, change the gutters on my roof or whatever," and then the guy goes, "I think I'll change the gutters on the roof." Then they showed a big picture, and he's got a bunch of Edomites working on his house, man. And he's sitting there smiling, drinking lemonade. So that's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. Esau's just gonna do our bidding, and that's it, and get their asses whipped. So Vocab Malone, you better hope that you're not an Edomite. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for Yahweh dwelleth in Zion. And I really wasn't thinking of this scripture. I was thinking of some other scriptures, but this is a good scripture right here. This scripture right here says a lot. Let me go to one more. Just came to mind. Isaiah 24. And we always read this scripture. And you can read from the first verse, read the whole scripture. This is a short chapter. It's only 23 verses long. But I'm going to go to, let me start it from 10. The city of confusion, which is Babylon translates into the word confusion. Babel, confused, confusion. So the city of confusion would be America. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets, and that wine represents knowledge, information. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Yeah, because we're coming to another major recession / depression. This country is, this system. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. That's after the missiles destroy this place. And the Edomites that we're going to shackle up are the elite, and these Edomites around the world in certain European countries. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. Yeah, because when you collect olive, you would shake the tree, and the olives would fall from the tree, and you would gather the olives. They shall lift up their voice. They shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires. And what fires is it talking about? These nuclear fires, these missiles. It says, wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires. I immediately think of Revelation 11, where we're going to be beamed up, and we're going to glorify the Lord, because we're going to look down. One brother had, I believe it's GMS Vent, the brother from out in the West. I believe he said he had a dream, or somebody else said he had a dream, that they were beamed up into the ships, and the floor was crystal or glass, where we can actually look down and see the destruction. Well, that's Psalms 91. It says, wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires, even the name of Yahweh, Yahweh the Most High. So when we get beamed up, we're going to praise Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. And when we go out there and we push this truth, we're singing a song pursuant to Revelation 14. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. This is Isaiah speaking. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Those are the Edomites. Isaiah 33 and 1. Yeah, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. Verse 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. So we're going to set trap for you devils around the world. We're going to capture you. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundation of the earth do shake. What's going to make the foundation of the earth shake? These missiles. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Well, parts of the earth shall fall and not rise again. Like the Babylon the Great is going to fall and not rise again. It's going to be the biggest desert on the planet. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones. That's the elite among you Edomites that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners. They're going to be slaves, are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days shall they be visited, because we're going to give you work assignments while we're kicking you in your ass. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed. For Yahweh of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and Jerusalem, and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. So the kingdom is right around the corner. So DJ Trump, you keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. You're doing a hell of a job, DJ Trump. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.